Hello there, everybody. How are you all doing today? It's time for more E3 going on to Sony. And what so far has been a fairly kind of mediocre year for E3. Nothing really to stand out. Nothing bad, mind you, but nothing that's made me go, whoa, you know? Just like,
whoa, wow.
Yeah, like just like, oh, well, that's kind of cool, right? But not like, meh, you know, not like, oh my god, I'm blown away, right? Especially since now that I know with the entrance of the Kinect, I know now we're entering an era of E3 that I remember really not enjoying, to be honest with you. So, we'll see. Some good games obviously still came out, but the E3s tended to focus on a specific thing, and that was the motion controls, right?
Yeah.
So, it gets boring if you don't care about that. Which me and a lot of other people did not at the time. So, you know, at least when it became a constant. So anyway, Sony's press conference. Megan's excited for this one. I'm keeping myself optimistic. Yeah, right. And I'm keeping myself optimistic. So, this should be good. We'll see. Maybe I'll like this more than the other ones. Maybe this will be another Sony W. So I got some stuff in my throat. So once again, from True Gaming Vault, who I believe we've seen numerous times before already.
Yeah, I believe so.
Alright, Megan, so are you ready?
Yeah.
Now, once again, we'll play around with the audio as it goes, because, you know, sometimes the audio just be weird. Sometimes it just be weird.
It would be kind of funny to me if Sony started winning E3 for the year on the years where it gets really mediocre.
Yeah, that would be kind of funny, actually.
I don't know. I like the meme. It's like, Sony's good, but they can only win if everyone else is kind of bad.
I mean, yeah, like, if that is the case, then that is kind of funny, honestly. But yeah, I'm curious. I assume we'll see God of War 3, by the way. That's something I'm pretty sure we'll see since we got the snippet for it in 2008.
Yeah, I think so too. Uncharted 2?
Which, if this is the year that I think it is, then it should be kind of funny.
I just saw Arkham Asylum as well. Bayonetta. There's God of War.
On Just Cause, yeah. Just Cause is pretty solid.
Yeah.
You know, it's really weird, right? Because, like, for me, Just Cause, like, we're seeing a lot of good games here. But, like, for me, Just Cause was a really weird game. Because, like, I really enjoyed Just Cause. But it also was very forgettable. You know?
Yeah.
Like the original Just Cause. Because I remember how the game ends. I remember it being kind of cool. But besides that, I don't even know what the game was really about. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, I've only played very little bit of Just Cause. I never got really into it, so I can't really say. It did seem kind of generic when it came to an open world game, aside from like the grappling hooks.
Yeah, but even then, I think the grappling hook only came into play in Just Cause 2.
It did. It was a thing in Just Cause 2.
Yeah. So I never got to play around with that because I never played any Just Cause past the first one, funnily enough. Not that I didn't have any interest, just, you know.
Yeah.
Not, you know. Too many games, really, I think, was the problem. So I want to point out this because this was a meme that I do recall from being a thing. We're 2 minutes in, and it's been all just pure intro. It's like me when I start a video up. You know? It's like all intro, not a ton of substance. We're seeing cool games. Well, most of them are cool games. But
yeah, I don't know. They don't really need to have it that long, because, I mean, they did repeat some clips there.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Jack Tretton.
Jack Tretton. Farewell, Cosray.
Hey, he had a pretty good run.
He did.
Thank God you guys showed up.
I mean, to be fair, maybe he's still around. I don't remember what his.
Confidential information. I was concerned that there really wouldn't be anything to be said at these press conferences.
Oh yeah, I got pause here because I want to point out. Because did you hear what he said? No, you didn't.
No.
Why not?
I was listening to you.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Because like he mentions that. Okay, well, here we'll play it.
Wow.
Okay.
Given this industry's ability to keep showed up. Given this industry's ability to keep confidential information, I was concerned that there really wouldn't be anything to be said at these press conferences.
Oh, they had a lot of leaks this year, I guess?
This is the year when I think there were a lot of leaks. Like, I did kind of forget about that. I don't know if it was just a Sony thing or if a lot of leaks came out in general for E3. But I do remember this being a thing. Like, there were a lot of things that were known beforehand. I can't name anything because it's been, like, over a decade now. I don't remember what was leaked back then. But there were a lot of leaks. And I think it was... I really appreciated that they pointed it out.
And you know, we consider ourselves to be industry
that
leaders
is pretty
at
cool.
PlayStation, and press leaks are no exception. We are not going to be outdone by anybody. My heartbeat is redlining at about 230 beats per minute right now. I can't tell you
too quiet for you?
The pressure it is to get up
No,
in
it's
front
okay.
of a live television audience. Probably
Like I said, I just was
5,000
listening to you,
members
so
of,
I missed
the
exactly what he
industry
said
and
before.
your, press colleagues up in the upper balcony, down in the lower balcony. Really appreciate you guys all being here. But the biggest sense of pressure that I feel is trying to do justice to the 364 games we have coming out on PlayStation platform.
Wow, that's a lot of games.
And you're going to see
That
a
is.
ton of
But
live
you know
code.
that
Thank
he's
you.
mentioning the balconies in here. I almost wonder is like as E3 got
You're gonna
bigger,
see a ton
if
of live
they
code on
decided
the
to rent the
screen that
more
stands 40 by
main
80,
rooms
and only
of
the
the
PlayStation 3 can
Los
show you the
Angeles Convention
resolution
Center
you're gonna
instead of
see
like the
on a
smaller
screen
rooms
that
they had
size.
before, right?
So on behalf
I mean,
of
maybe. It could
everyone
be
at Sony
possible.
Computer Entertainment America, I want to welcome you back to the historic Shrine Auditorium. You know, we constantly have to remind ourselves that despite all the pressure, we're in the entertainment business. And if consumers are spending valuable and limited spare time on our products, then clearly we're being successful.
True.
And we're going to show
I'd say
you
true
this
enough.
morning why PlayStation is going to
Yeah.
continue to
And
be
now
the
they're trying to
mainstay of this
monopolize our
industry.
time with live services.
We've been committed to groundbreaking innovation and creativity since we entered this industry 15 years ago. And today's
Hey, Megan, don't you have a
presentation
pause for just a
is
sec?
testament to those
Yeah.
ideals.
So I just want to see something real quick. I apologize. I apologize for everybody. Okie dokie. Sorry about that. Just had to check. OBS is just looking strange with its audio. I've never. It looks like there's something they're making sound when the video is playing, but I don't know what, and it's really confusing. And it only seems to be happening on this video, which is extra strange. But sometimes things just be weird like that, eh, Megan?
Yeah. You gotta love the technical issues, man. Happens all the time.
Yeah, and me testing it, because I don't hear anything when I test it, right? So if you guys hear anything, please let me know. I'll probably pour over this during the editing to see if I hear something. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, who knows. But if there is any sound, I apologize. Also, for like 2 minutes, I did let this run a little bit because Megan and I did record and a little bit more, but I realized my mic was muted, so that was kind of an oopsie. So we're going back here. All right, Megan, are you ready?
Yeah.
You'll see why 2009 will be our best year ever. Even better than the record year we
Man,
had.
you know, you'd think that I would actually be
As the only
good
player with
at this
three
kind of thing by
successful
now,
platforms
but
at once,
turns out no, I still have little issues.
experience second to none.
But I was a little
Yeah.
bit more, and like I was a little bit more
That'll
paranoid
happen.
about it because I have a slightly different setup now, and usually with new setups, even though everything looks good, sometimes things get weird, right?
It was a
They
record
do.
year of growth and momentum for us, and it's just the beginning of what we expect in 2009. Back in April, we held a pre-E3 Gamers Day and showed some blockbuster exclusive titles we have coming out this year. And just by that short glimpse, many of you were saying...
See, maybe I know what they show, actually, because we got past this part.
I know you're aware some of the industry's biggest titles are coming to PS3. Titles like Modern Warfare 2, Final Fantasy 13.
Good one.
Ratchet and Clank.
Can't really say.
A Crack in Time.
Ratchet and Clank.
I think you like that one. Oh, listen to the crowd. Big fans.
Heavy Rain.
Yeah, I think aside from the original trilogy, Crack in Time is considered the best Ratchet and Clank game.
When you look at the list, it's abundantly clear.
Personally, I like Rift Apart a little bit more, but they're both really close.
If you want to have the ultimate gaming experience, you need PlayStation. Now let's get started with the PlayStation 2. As I'm sure you know, PlayStation 2 is now retailing for $99, and the consumer response
which is very cheap.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, that's like crazy cheap.
Numbers were impressive, but we also drove an additional 30% of our sales through distribution, Canada, and Latin America.
Hey, Canada mention.
Yo, Canada mention.
Was telling, but what's really amazing is that we did it in its 9th year. A true testament to why we talk so much about the 10-year product life cycle. But make no mistake, we don't intend to see an end to PS2 after 10 years. We're committed to this system as long as consumers see value in it. Now, we added nearly 9 million PS2 users globally to the PlayStation family last year. And now at
that's quite a lot.
$99 with more than 2,000 titles available,
that is.
PlayStation 2 continues to be a huge value for consumers and a profit opportunity for publishers and retailers. PS2
I don't know, to me it's still crazy that like after all this time there's so many people buying PlayStation 2s.
This year we're pleased to
right, like it's one of the best consoles of all time, like it's kind of true, you know? Okay, what do we have here?
Hey! We got Lego Batman twice.
We do have Lego Batman twice, that's weird. I don't think that's intended. We also have, well,
I mean, probably not.
We also have two versions of Buzz, so I'm kind of, because, no, there's only one version of Lego Batman, right?
There's only one version of Lego Batman. I think those two Buzzes, they probably have different question packs, if I had to guess.
Yeah, like, no, those two are definitely different. Batman's weird. Maybe
At least I'm pretty sure there's not, like, another version of Lego Batman on the PS2.
Gee, I sure hope someone got fired for that blunder. The Simpsons reference. Simpsons reference. All right, Simpsons reference. Nobody. I don't want anyone to get fired for a mistake, okay?
And remember, every time you see somebody purchase PS2 hardware or software this year, today's PS2 owners are ultimately tomorrow's PS3 consumers. A year ago, I stood on this stage and said that our goal in fiscal 2009 was to sell 10 million new PS3s, and that's precisely what we did. We grew the PS3 install base by 40% in 2008 and topped 22 million units sold globally.
All right.
As many of you have heard us announce,
that's quite a lot, yeah.
That is a whole lot.
Which represents a total increase of 30% to a total of 13 million PS3s. Now, last year, Sackboy helped me announce that we were further expanding our presence in Latin America. Our retail sales in this territory have nearly tripled, and the rollout continues into Brazil.
That image of the globe looks really weird.
A little bit. I think it's because it has like the, because it has like this odd like shape. Like it's not round, right?
It's kind of like egg-shaped.
Yeah, right. Well, I was gonna say like kind of like a pregnant woman's stomach, right? I kind of like jets out a little bit, but like egg shape is a lot like makes a lot more sense. I think that is a bit strange though.
Brazil, Uruguay, and Paraguay later this year.
It's almost like they took a picture of a globe and then kind of cut it so it shows mostly South America.
Yeah.
Now, thanks to great content and service enhancements, PlayStation Network had a monster year in 2008. We've seen the total registered accounts grow to more than 24 million worldwide.
Wow.
And we expect to see even more growth in 2009. Now, corporate stats are a testament to our success, but those numbers are derived from consumer
acceptance. Which means I got to turn them down.
So let's talk about what consumers really care about. Great games. I suspect the reason that some of you have bags under your eyes is because you've been playing Infamous non-stop since it came out last week.
It was a good game.
I love Infamous.
So it came out a week prior to E3. Interesting.
With ratings at 90% or higher at places like IGN, Game Informer, GameSpot, and Game Trailers, Infamous has quickly become this summer's biggest blockbuster title, and it's only available on PlayStation 3. It's one of the more than 35 exclusive titles coming out in 2009 that you'll only find on PlayStation. And PlayStation has always been associated with great games and the industry's best developers. And a team that's been near and dear to my heart since they created Crash Bandicoot on the original PlayStation is Naughty Dog.
Mm-hmm. Good company.
Wow.
Uncharted
They're
Drake's
leading off with
Fortune
Naughty
was a
Dog, that makes
groundbreaking
sense.
title on PS3, selling more than 2.6 million units globally. So it's my pleasure to introduce Evan Wells, co-president of Naughty Dog, to show you Uncharted 2 Among Thieves.
Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, eh? This isn't the thing that you're talking about, right? Or is it?
This is one of the games I was talking about. Uncharted 2, I think, is considered the best in the series and one of the best PS3 exclusives.
Okay, let me
for the time, anyway.
Understandable. Okay, let me be more specific. Is this the meme thing that you're talking about?
No, that one's in Uncharted 3. Sorry.
Okay. No worries, no worries.
Join us in the Uncharted 2 multiplayer beta.
I thought you were just referencing what I said at the end of last storm, like, oh, there's a lot of great games that came out in 2009.
More of our single player campaign. So
I was not, but to be fair, it's good to ask, right? I mean, it's Uncharted
no,
2.
it's fine.
I feel like it kind of has to be, right?
So I'd rather show you than tell you. So let's cut to the chase.
Because even if I've not played it, I still know people love the Uncharted series.
Yeah.
But then again, who knows? This could be the bad one, right?
I mean, that's true.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Some people seem to like it in the crowd.
Okay, this way.
So, fun fact for when you play the game, when you get here, if you jump and swim around in the pool, you get a trophy.
Oh, okay, well, I'll have to remember that. Not that I trophy hunt or anything, but, you know. So
yeah, it's just like a fun little thing. I don't know. It's I can't remember the exact name of the trophy, but it's something like Nate takes a splash.
Man, that does look like this does look pretty impressive. I gotta say.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it looks pretty amazing for the time. I always love the fact that they zipline just on their pistols like that. It's so
yeah,
dumb.
that is pretty silly. Kind of like it though.
Looks like we're gonna have to shimmy across that beam.
Look at that! Not everything's yellow.
Oh, God,
Woo.
be careful.
Ooh, is that a reference to like nowadays?
Holy shit.
Well, nowadays, but I think it was a
Okay.
thing that also happened a lot in the first game, where like things were kind of just yellow as like, oh hey, I can climb this or interact with this.
Okay, because I do know in the modern era, a lot of people do meme about the yellow paint on stuff, which, you know, fair. I don't mind it personally, but fair that people don't like it.
At least I'm pretty sure the first game had it. Maybe I'm just thinking of later Uncharted's or games I'm not too sure. I feel like he might have invincibility on. The helicopter kind of shot right through him while he jumped.
Oh, really? Hold on, let me see. I mean, true, he might have invincibility on. It depends if... See, because I don't know how invulnerability stuff works in this game. I don't know if, like, if you're jumping from something, are you invulnerable? It looks like he should have gotten hit.
I'm not entirely sure how it works with jumping. I do know when it comes to, like, Uncharted lore, like, this is just developer lore, it's not anything to do with the story. But the whole idea is that Nate is a regular human. He'll die in one bullet, but the screen will slowly fade gray as you get hit in the game because that's Nate's luck running out. And once he runs out of luck, he'll get shot and die.
Okay. Why do you sound quieter?
I don't know. I didn't change anything.
That's so weird. I don't think I have, like, ducking or anything on. I don't know, it just seemed weird, because, like, I felt like I had to turn it down a lot to hear you myself.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything I can do about that. But yeah, I kind of always found that to be a neat factoid about the series. It's like, yeah, he's not, you don't just take a million bullets. It's just like, nah, he's just super lucky.
See, now you sound more normal. Weird.
I don't know.
I don't know, maybe you're going, like, quiet voice and then projecting voice? Use your projecting voice more, it's easier for me.
I mean, I've been talking the same volume the entire time.
I don't know. It's weird then. Maybe this part's just like especially loud.
I mean, it is with the gunshots and the explosions, yeah. But I don't know, like, when we're recording, as long as I'm aware of it, I try to use projecting voice, because I know you want to be able to hear me.
I'm sure you do. Oh, jump. Yeah, maybe this part's just like exceptionally loud.
Yeah.
Cause like I have it down to 5% and it still seems really loud to me.
Yeah.
We were almost in that.
Well, I have it at 10%, but even at 5, it still seems really loud.
So be sure to check out more on Uncharted 2 in the Sony booth. Thanks, Jack.
I don't know. I hate anything audio related. If people that know me know I hate anything weirdly audio centric, right? As in like,
I think you'll
it's so easy to mess up.
2 is one of the best looking games we've ever
Wait,
seen.
hold on. Can you back up for a second, like when he's walking back on stage?
I can.
Are those PlayStation water bottles on the left there?
On PlayStation water bottles?
Like, you know, at the edge
You
of
mean
the
like right
brown
here?
circle on the left side, yeah.
I mean, those are water bottles. I don't know. Are PlayStation
I know,
water
but they looked
bottles?
like they had a PlayStation logo on them.
Really? Let me see. I don't know. Maybe do they?
I think so.
I mean, if they do, that's pretty funny. Honestly, I think it was just the game being loud because now you sound normal to me. Weird.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I just find that funny if they have that there for him, but they're like, hey, let's subtly advertise with our own branded water.
I think you'll all agree.
Yeah, you're right. That does have the PlayStation logo on them. You only really see it like when it's really in, but yeah, you can see their logo.
Yeah, okay, that's really funny. I'm glad I
I
caught
think
that.
you'll all
Yeah,
agree
good job.
Uncharted 2 is one of the best looking games we've ever seen. Oftentimes you hear us talk about only on PlayStation. It's not just a quantitative statement. More often than not, it's a qualitative one. It means only possible on PlayStation. That's a theme you'll hear us talk a lot about today. I'm excited about this.
Well, that's
next
definitely
game, not
corporate
just for one
speak.
reason, but for 256
A little bit.
reasons.
Like, wait, what did he say?
That's a theme you'll hear us
Well, he
talk
said
a lot
it
about
only
today.
on PlayStation means only possible on PlayStation.
Oh, well, yeah, you're right. That is very
Excited about
corporate
this
speak.
Next game, not just for one reason,
Yeah.
but for
He's subtly
256
suggesting, like, well,
reasons.
even if we had this game on Xbox, it wouldn't work.
We introduced MAG on this stage to a lot of fanfare last year, and today
I do
we'd
remember
like
that.
to show you the first public unveiling of live gameplay. Here to show you the
Yeah, so we get to see the actual gameplay for the
Andy
game.
Bodwin of Zipper Interactive. Andy?
Now, this I think did impress me a lot. I do actually remember this, because I remember Meg from the previous year, and when they did this, I was like, oh, we get to actually see gameplay? Man, that's crazy.
It was about a year ago that I had the opportunity to tell you about the latest game we were working on in Zipper Interactive. That game is MAG, a new first-person shooter that pits 256 players against each other on the field of battle. Well, here we are. It's a year later, and I'm pleased to be here again, this time with 8 other members of the Zipper team. Not just to talk about MAG, but to show you a live 256
But where's the other
player MAG
248?
battle. So now, before we
There you
start,
go.
I want to remind you that every action you're about to see or hear, from the distant chatter of a machine gun being fired by a developer in Seattle, to an airstrike called in by a tester in San Diego.
I see, Megan, that shut you up, didn't it?
I mean, it did. I was just gonna be like, well, 8 players is nice, but you're advertising 256. Like,
MAG's lead level
it's a big
designer,
difference.
is acting as our squad leader today. Now, if we take a look at CJ's command network interface, you can get a feel of the scale of this battle. CJ's squad of 8, along with other 3 squads in his platoon, must punch through a line of enemy bunkers, secure a forward landing zone, and push forward to the heart of the enemy facility.
you know, because of
Now,
the
if we pull
size
back
of,
just
like,
a
the
bit,
battles
you
in
can
this
see that
game,
the
the
squad
maps
isn't
must have been
alone.
very
His
interesting.
platoon is one of 4 that make up the raiding company assaulting this base.
Like as a player?
Blue dot, you see, is a live player
Well, just,
participating
like,
in a battle right now.
As a player and
But
also,
remember
like,
that for
designing a
each
map
blue dot
that
you see,
big
there's
and
also a
varied,
red
right?
enemy,
Okay,
both of
because I was
whom
gonna
are
say, like,
infected.
if you want from a player perspective, I mean, I was a player.
CJ's gonna use one
I
of
do
his
remember,
squad
so I
leaders
could
to
explain,
call in a
right?
recon UAV
Yeah.
to scout out those enemy
Which,
locations.
yeah, I remember it being really, really interesting, because you did have, like, little battles kind of all over the place, right? Which is
Yeah.
really neat.
Now, unfortunately, the enemy has an anti-aircraft battery that's up and running, and it's going to shoot down his airstrike.
Yeah, because when he zoomed out and I was looking at the entire thing, I'm like, oh, yeah, it would kind of just feel like you're in a city in like another game, basically.
So these are all the squad members we see on screen that are up here on the stage today. They're going to move out. Siege is going to assign the first objective to his team, which is to assault a bunker. This bunker serves as a forward spawn for the enemy, so if they can destroy it, they'll manage to push the defenders back farther into the heart of the base.
Very nice. Using the APC as a shield.
Now, as we saw, we're going to switch over and take a look at the platoon leader perspective for Ben Jones. Now, these bunkers are very challenging targets. They have to go in, plant a charge at the base of it. They can attack the turret on top from distance, but if they have to get in close to plant the charge and defend that.
I don't know if they were meant to switch to a different perspective or not, but it sounded like they were going to.
It sounded like he was going to, but yeah, it didn't switch anything. That's interesting.
Because this objective has been assigned to the squad, he's going to get bonus points for every action he takes. So now that they've managed to destroy that bunker, it's going to push all the defenders back farther into the heart of the base. His team's going to move up, plant charges once again on that anti-aircraft battery that was causing him so much trouble earlier, and defend that. Now, taking care of this will do a couple of things, give a couple of advantages to his team. First and foremost, it will allow the commanders to call in airstrikes as they battle, but it's also going to secure this as a forward spawn point for his team, which we'll see in a moment here.
See, so like it has a lot of neat ideas, but I will say,
in the battle, no matter which platoon they're in, know that the attackers in this area have secured that forward spawn, and now we have
overall
coming in, which serve as the forward deployment point.
Look, what do you like? Looking at this game, what do you think?
They will respawn those helicopters and be able to push forward. And they're also very powerful at securing this landing zone.
I think the idea of having squads taking different objectives in such a big map like this is pretty interesting. With how I know how a lot of online games go, though, this would probably just turn into a big, like, deathmatch game where no one's really focusing objectives when they should be.
And secure the point so his team can push forward.
Yeah, I'd say that's fairly accurate. And like, if you look at the way the game kind of plays, like from a shooting perspective, it does seem kind of basic, right?
Devastating strike. It's clear position. Now his team has a few moments before the enemies respawn.
Which once again, I was really hyped for this game, and I did enjoy playing it for a while, but
all 4 platoons for the final assault on this objective.
Yeah, there's a reason the game did die after a while, you know.
Yeah, it almost seems like they had too much they've relied too much on the fact that it's like, oh, you have a big battle, and they didn't really add a lot to make the game itself interesting, because just watching that and like even just imagining and playing the game, I feel like this is the kind of game where you play it for maybe a couple dozen hours and then you're like, yep, every match is the same, I'm tired of this, let's go play something else.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate. Oh, that's not me.
Oh.
So let's go.
We didn't hear your joke, Jack.
I like how you had to repeat it. That's really awkward. Typical E3 awkwardness, right? Love it.
Yeah.
So let's go.
He's like, oh shit, switchboard guy. He's like, uh oh. Play music.
So let's go from
there you go. And now he's got a I don't know. I love E3 awkwardness,
when the
dude.
PSP first came out 5 years ago.
I love how every year there's always something. At least one conference. Switchboard guy struggles. You know.
It became slimmer and lighter with a better LCD screen.
Yeah.
And our content and services
honestly, like, aside from the fact later on that people just get tired of, like, the way E3 presentations are, I wouldn't be surprised if technical issues like that are part of the reason why they switched to basically just showing you reels of trailers.
PlayStation Portable
true.
titles like Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII, Star Wars Battlefront Renegade Squadron, Madden NFL 09, and of course,
didn't they show Star Wars Battlefront like a couple of years ago? It's still not out.
For a richer, deeper war chain front renegades like Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII, Star Wars Battlefront.
So I
Renegade
like
Squadron,
just for
Madden
PSP. Well, this
NFL
one's
09,
Elite Squadron, I think.
7, Star Wars
Oh, okay,
Battlefront,
okay.
Renegade
So it might be a
Squadron,
different one.
Renegade Squadron. Yeah, because I think that was the PSP version of
Madden
Battlefront.
NFL 09, and of
Yeah,
course,
I just
God of War
thought they
Chains of
announced
Olympus.
it a couple years ago, but
For
I might be
gamers
just
looking for a
losing track of
richer,
it because
deeper,
we have
and
been
more
doing this for a
engaging
while, and they
portable
kind of all blend
experience,
together after a
the
while.
PSP has no equal. And last year, 15 million people came to the same conclusion, pushing our global install base to more than 50 million units. Over the past 2 years, much of that growth has been fueled by content offerings we've bundled with PSP, and this year will be no different. At Destination PlayStation, we announced a variety of entertainment packs for PSP, including bundles with Rock Band Unplugged coming out next week.
Oh
The
yeah,
City
I
of
forgot
Final
about Rock
Fantasy
Band
will be
Unplugged.
launching on
I forgot about that
August
too.
25th, and we follow that up with Assassin's
I don't know
Creed
if there's anything
Bloodlines
like super
coming
unique
out on
about it
November
in
10th.
terms of it. I think it's just Rock Band on
We
a
also outlined
PSP.
some of
I
our
mean,
plans
I
to
believe
expand
that's
PSP
true.
to reach to a younger, more diverse demographic and further appeal to teen and tween girls. For starters, we're working with Disney to launch a Hannah Montana bundle, compete with a lilac-colored
Oh
PSP
boy,
with
I
Gerard.
remember hearing about this on the Game Collecting Reddit, actually.
Just sold
Really?
a few right there. That's awesome.
Well, there was a post a while ago
We're
where
bringing a
someone's
host
like,
of
I
other
finally
content
found
to
it, because I
PSP
guess,
for this audience
obviously,
later
because
this
it's
year,
Hannah
including
Montana and stuff, it
Pets,
didn't really sell
Loco
well, so trying to
Roco
get the
2,
bundle with the game and the pink
Patapon
PSP,
2,
because I guess that's
and
the only
Rock
way to get
Band.
it,
Not to
is
mention a lot of
actually
great movie
rather
and TV
expensive these
content
days.
from partners like Disney
Oh,
and
really?
Nickelodeon.
Huh.
Yeah, it's
Not
one of
only
the
do we
more
have
rare
something
variants
for
of the
everyone
PSP,
from
from
a
what I
content
understand.
perspective, but when paired with PlayStation
I've never seen the
3,
Loco Roco
PSP
version,
is in a
though.
class all its own, and it's a true game changer for the industry. To tell you more about this vision, I'd like to introduce the president of Sony's Network Products and Services Group and the president and CEO of Sony Computer Entertainment, Kaz Hirai.
There he is.
Oh, okay, so he's not CEO of just the gaming department anymore, he's just CEO of Sony in general.
Apparently.
That makes sense.
Thanks, Jack. I'm really excited to be back here on stage here at E3. I was part of the crowd last year, but I couldn't resist the temptation to be back on stage this year again. So it's a pleasure to be back on stage.
Boss man wants to be on stage, he'll be on
Grew from
stage.
infancy to
Woo!
adolescence in the very heart of the digital era. And PlayStation's evolution is tracked precisely with, and obviously in many cases, helped lead the increasing comfort consumers have with digital technology. And 2 years ago, we sought to understand more about how consumers were using that digital technology. So naturally, we went on the road, visiting with publishers, developers, and gamers to ask how we could make the PSP better. And this feedback actually went right back to our engineering team and led to changes in the design and the features of the PSP. So it's my pleasure today to officially introduce the next step in the evolution of the PlayStation Portable. For those who live a more digital lifestyle, who are downloading content across the network, who no longer need or desire tangible media like UMDs, CDs, or DVDs in their homes or backpacks or in their briefcases. And I have it right here in my pocket.
Man, they like pulling things out of their pockets. Yeah, like in general
I mean-
for these presenters.
I mean, I think it was, I want to say it was Reggie or Iwata was the first one to do it.
I believe it was Reggie with the DS.
Yeah.
And then Iwata
We
did it
actually
too.
have,
I believe that
Yeah.
same conference.
First, we
Yeah,
call
okay,
it
maybe
the
that's why I'm getting
worst kept
confused. I'm like, I
secret
know
of E3.
they both did it really early, I just couldn't remember who did it first. But when it comes to portable systems, I think it's a great way to
PSP
demonstrate
Go.
really how portable
PSP
and
Go
easy it is
represents
to
a new
actually
evolution
carry
of
with you.
PSP, specifically designed
Yeah, no, it
for
does
the
make
digital
sense.
lifestyle. And let me be very
I do
clear,
like how they turned the
PSP
PSP
Go
Go
will not
basically
replace the
into a PSP like
2000
smartphone
or the
with the whole
UMD.
flip screen.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, actually. Like, it's kind of a smart idea to do it.
Alongside the PSP Go.
Yeah. I mean, it makes a lot of sense because it makes it more compact. And I guess if you just wanted to use the UMD to watch a movie or something, you don't really have to have the buttons out.
The same
Yeah.
operating system, integrated Wi-Fi, and plays the same terrific games. But its size is really built for the digital consumer. In fact, the PSP
I do like
Go
how
is
it's almost the
more
exact
than
same
50%
size as
smaller
like a
and
smartphone nowadays.
40% lighter than the original PSP 1000.
Yeah, I don't know if they're supposed to be playing that music the whole time.
The PSP Go is designed for the digital lifestyle.
Probably
offering
not.
16 gigabytes of internal flash memory to store plenty of
Okay, there you go.
games,
Now it's gone.
videos,
Now that we've
music,
called
and
it out.
photos. And you'll be able to download
Switchboard
games
guy.
and movies and other content from the free PlayStation Network.
I don't know, maybe it
using the
was
PSP
supposed to,
Go
but I don't know. Normally they
built-in
cut the
Wi-Fi.
music like that
And
when
as you can see,
the guy on stage is
PSP Go
talking,
also has a
right?
slide-out feature for the controls,
Yeah.
integrated Bluetooth technology, and a new memory stick micro media port, also known as M2, for adding even more memory to the system. And as Jack mentioned, 2009 will see more big franchise titles released on PSP than any other time in the history of the PSP platform. But we're also working to make the experience easier and more enjoyable. So for starters, today we're launching a new application used to access the PlayStation Store on the PC that makes it so much more easier to manage your content across your PC.
So much
and
more
your PSP.
easier.
And it's
Yep, so
called
much more easier.
Media Go. Media Go has replaced the current version of the Media Manager and is now the application used to access the PlayStation
I can't
Store
say I've heard of
directly
Media
from
Go.
your PC. It
But
makes content
I can't
transfer of
say I
pictures
have
and movies
either.
And music that much easier with really a
I can't
much
imagine I
more
would
intuitive
have
interface.
really used
And
it.
clearly, the ability to consume all forms of media on the PSP is very crucial. And we have seen an increase in music usage on the PSP system recently, and in response, we're going to.
I mean, I guess it
introduce a new
ended in
application specific to the
2017, so it
PSP.
went for a
And
while.
this application is called Sense
Okay.
Me. So incorporating a 12-tone technology recognition system, Sense Me will analyze your music library to deliver a playlist based on the moods that you select. Launching on PSP and PSP Gold this fall, Sense Me it really enhances the music experience so that you can easily enjoy the mood and the tracks to fit your mood and occasion. And this year, continuing the momentum that we've built for content on PSP, we're going to also lower the price of the PSP toolkits. Specifically, as part of a longer-term program, it will be an 80% reduction in the cost of the tools, allowing more developers as well as individuals to put even more great content on the PSP. What all of these things I'm talking about today have in common is this. They're all designed to bring new content to PSP from games, videos, and music, and make it a whole lot easier to connect directly wherever you go. And most importantly, all PSP titles moving forward will be digitally distributed via the PlayStation Store and at retail via UMD as well. Now, we know that all PSPs on the market are able to connect and store downloaded content, and we also know that many existing PSP owners still want to buy a physical product. So whether your device of choice is the PSP 3000 or the PSP Go, all of the services and features and functionality are there in every device, and we're constantly looking to strengthen the experience and provide the best content that is available. So ultimately, the PSP Go is one more proof point that PlayStation offers the future of entertainment technologies. The PSP Go will be available in stores in North America and in Europe at the same price point that we launched the original PSP. What does that mean? It'll be $249 and 249 euros and available on October 1st in North America and in Europe. And for 20,000.
So I assume you never got a PSP Go.
26,800
I did
yen
not, no.
on November 1st in Japan. So with PSP Go living side
I don't know. I just didn't see much of a reason for it because I had the PSP 1000, the one with the analogs that didn't work, and then I had the, I guess that would be the 2000 or the 3000 there.
Okay.
Talk a little bit about the video delivery
So
service.
once I had that, I'm like, yeah,
recently
I don't need
last
another
year,
PSP.
Yeah,
We
I'd say
launched
that's
a
pretty
video delivery
understandable.
service That seamlessly delivered content that can be enjoyed in your living room or on the go. And since its debut on this stage last July, the video delivery service has had more than 1,900 movies and now more than 9,400 TV shows available. And starting today, I'd like to announce that the video delivery service will be available natively on the PSP as well.
All right.
Thank you. Now it's going to be easier than ever to download video or gaming content directly to your PSP. And we're also in the process of adding more content to the PlayStation Store as well. And we've signed partnerships with a host of new providers, and today we'll be launching content from Showtime, G4, E,
Manga.
Stars TV, TNA,
Yeah.
Magnolia Films. and
Toei
variety of
Animation's
new
on there
anime
too, that's
as well as
interesting.
sports
And Viz.
partners
Yeah.
as well. So the
That's
bottom
like that's
line
not
is
bad.
this.
Like I don't know all of
Disney
them,
is-
obviously. Like I know
Yeah.
G4, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Probably for the best, to be honest. I recall Summit. We don't talk about the Weinstein Company anymore. I know Viz Media is still around doing stuff.
Yeah.
What have they done recently? Did they do Has Been? Were they Has Been, or am I thinking of like a different?
Viz
thing?
Media does a lot of like Blu-ray and DVD anime releases. They also publish a lot of manga.
Okay. Okay, because I recognize Viz Media, but I see. I don't remember. I know there's some kind of more like obscure site or TV network that took on like Has Been Hotel, and I feel like like the TV show.
Yeah.
And I know Vivzy Pop is the person that made it, so that could be what's getting me confused as well. But I remember it. I'm pretty sure it had like 3 letters, and I think it had the word media in it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not too sure on that one.
Yeah, then you have UFC. I don't know this one here. Showtime, Magnolia, TNA Impact back in the day. All right.
As well as sports partners as well. So the bottom line is this. There will be more content that is easier to get onto your PSP. And as Jack said earlier, PlayStation has something for everyone wherever they want to go. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the founder of Polyphony Digital and the father of Gran Turismo, Kazunori Yamauchi.
Bringing back our Gran Turismo, man. Been a bit. Been like a year or something, I think. Or did they show Gran Turismo last year? I don't think they did.
No, it would have been the year before that, 2007, I think.
皆さんにですね、今日、この場で本当に長い時間、お待たせしていた、グランツーリスモ PSP、の、発表ができることを、本当に光栄に思っています。
To everyone, I am very honored here today to be given this opportunity to announce Gran Turismo PSP that I know everyone has been waiting for so long.
ですね、今ここで実際にグランツーリスモ PSP が、動いています。
As you can see here, Gran Turismo is running on the small PSP Go.
小さな小さな、PSP Go ですが、中に入っているグランツーリスモは、フルスケールのものです。
The PSP Go is a very, very small piece of hardware.
Yeah, it's interesting to see like a translator with a little notepad.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. That's kind of interesting.
I wonder if maybe some translators just prefer that.
I mean, it might just make his life easier if he just writes down what he says, because then he can like visualize it in front of him and translate it.
True, yeah.
800台以上の、車が収録され、35コース、60レイアウト以上の、景観トラックが収録されます。
Honestly, if I was a translator, I'd probably work that way too.
Yeah, like it would make sense.
Yeah, I've just always found it easier to have something in front of me. It's part of the reason why, like, if I have stuff to do, I will write notes and stuff, like, oh, I need to do this, this, and this.
タイムトライアル、それからドリフトトライアル、それからグランツーリスモの伝統的なゲームモードと言ってもいい、ライセンスを含む、ミッションチャレンジモードが、搭載されています。
Single player mode contains standard races, time trials, and drift trials. And there is a mission challenge mode that includes the legacy license mode of Gran Turismo, where you can learn your driving skills.
このグランツーリスモはですね、小さいマシンには入っているものの、決してサブセットではない、フルセットのグランツーリスモであるということですね。
In that respect, though it is running on such a small piece of hardware, this Gran Turismo PSP actually offers a full-size Gran Turismo experience. This is not a shrunken down subset of the series.
それからですね、この持ち運べる、プレイステーションポータブル、ならではの
I don't know how you could really shrink down like a racing game, right? Like Gran Turismo?
In addition, we've added
Yeah, I'm not really too sure.
for a portable system like this PSP that utilizes
Because like I said before, I'm not really too big into racing games. But I still respect them as a genre, right? But even saying that, they are usually pretty basic. You get in your car, you race around,
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so like I do think it translates to a mobile game pretty well. Like a handheld game pretty well. But I just don't know how you could like shrink it down, right?
Yeah, I'm not too sure, to be honest.
Like at least with the context that he was saying it.
Yeah.
今回のグランツーリスモ PSP では、言ってみれば友達みんなで、その車たちを、獲得していけるように、設計されているということです。
Because there's over 800 cars contained in the game, it would be fairly difficult to gather all the cars by yourself. But the game is designed so that if you get together with your friends, it'll make it much easier.
PSP を持って、友達に会いに行く、車のトレーディングをしに会いに行く、友達同士で集まる、そこでコミュニケーションが行われて、お互いのガレージに車が入る、そういった、行為そのものがですね、グランツーリスモ PSP というゲームの一部であるというふうに僕は思っています。
To have people meet with others and connect in ad hoc mode, to take your PSP and gather all your friends is something that I think is an important part of Gran Turismo PSP.
会場にはですね、E3 の、コンベンションセンターの会場には、たくさんの、プレイヤブルなグランツーリスモが、並んでいると思います。ぜひ皆さんご自身の目で、きちんとしたしっかりとしたグランツーリスモが、この小さなマシンの中で動いているという様をですね、ぜひ確認してみてください。
We have many Gran Turismo PSPs on display at the E3 show floor today. I'd like you all to take a look and see for yourself with your own eyes that Gran Turismo is really up and running on this compact piece of hardware.
最後にですね、僕らポリゴニデジタルが、グランツーリスモ PSP についての、ビデオを、作って、用意してますので、それを、皆さんにご覧いただきたいと思います。今日はですね、本当にお時間を割いていただいてありがとうございました。
And finally, I'd like you all to take a look at a video we've prepared for Gran Turismo PSP to show everyone. And thank you all for your time today.
Ooh, a video. I do like those.
Yay!
This is pretty poppin'. Or at least I'm kind of digging it. You know what? Not a bad little trailer, I gotta say.
Yeah.
PlayStation. Ooh, October 1st.
And I look forward to having Kazunori
I guess that was the release date. Okay.
in my garage or his garage.
Yeah.
He started talking, so I'm like, oh, is trailer over? I guess it wasn't.
It's really no wonder that the GT
It's kind of weird they didn't put it in the trailer itself, but maybe that was a last-minute addition.
I mean, maybe.
To define the PlayStation brand as best-in-class gaming. And we're looking forward to the industry's best driving experience coming to the PSP this fall, October 1st, to help celebrate
Yo, October
the launch of
1st.
PSP Go. And now, quality and authenticity means everything in this industry, especially when it's coming from the Metal Gear Solid family. Yeah.
Oh, are they gonna announce Peace Walker?
It must be, because that was PSP. Or, like, Acid came out already, right? Or is that like a Vita thing? I don't remember.
No, I don't remember.
So these transitions are a little weird. It sounded like he was going to talk about Metal Gear Solid.
He was going to, and now they're playing a demo reel.
That's really weird.
I'm not really sure why they would do that. This poor guy's really struggling today. Oh, Dissidia!
I mean, either he's struggling or this is just a really weird transition.
Yeah. Why not both?
I mean, could be. I don't know, it just seems really strange. Monster Hunter.
A Monster Hunter?
Capcom
This must be Freedom
01.
Unite.
I mean, that would hurt.
Yeah. Oh, Persona.
Apparently, 3? Or is that like a different
No, that
Persona?
is the original Persona. That's the remake they came out on PSP, I assume.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What
I'm
game
not
was
really
that?
sure what that one was. I don't know.
I would use Google Images. I don't think it would actually tell me.
Probably not.
It'd probably just see the PSP and go, oh, PSP, yes. And, yeah.
Probably. It'd be too much work, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't want to waste anybody's more, like, any more time, really.
Yeah.
On something that I don't think would actually help anyway.
Probably not. Huh.
Comic book tough guy.
I don't know what game that is.
I don't know. That must be Battlefront. Hannah Montana! Woo!
Woo!
Oh. And they're a Nintendo clone, I guess. I don't know what game that would be.
Do they have a game called Pets?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if that's on
might be
PSP
it.
as well. I remember that being on DS, but it might have been multi-plat. Rock Band! It's gotta be so awkward playing it on a PSP versus using the guitar peripheral.
Probably.
Oh, Kaz is gone.
He is. Goodbye, Kazurai.
Also, he took a sip. I see the labels turned.
Oh, did he? Hold on. I wish to witness this. You're right. He's setting it down. They caught him.
How dare he be a human and drink water?
Sounds like we got a lot of your favorites in there.
Just a joke,
And I'm sure you
before
can
anyone
see
takes it seriously.
PlayStation Portable is set to have a tremendous year. A lot of content and services we've been talking about have one thing in common. They're all part of the PlayStation Network. PSN comes to E3 with momentum on our side. It now has more than 24 million registered users around the world, including more than 11 million in North America. These consumers have downloaded more than 475 million pieces of content worldwide. And in the past year alone, our install base of unique consoles has grown 150%. There's more than 200 titles currently available on the PlayStation Store, and more than 90 of them are exclusive. One of the biggest strengths of the PlayStation Network is that its connected PS3 and PSP consumers have a direct relationship with us and millions of gamers around the world. Free Wi-Fi in every unit makes it easy, and free connectivity to the PlayStation Network makes it painless. With PlayStation Network, you get tons of additional content, connectivity, and community interaction with no hidden fees.
All right.
In addition, we're
I guess
adding
that's
nearly
true.
50 PS1 classics to the PlayStation Store starting this year, and starting today with the launch of Final Fantasy VII.
Ooh. That got people's attention.
We've always believed by offering free access to online gameplay, we could aggregate a huge audience quickly, and that's exactly what we're doing. One of the other things we're excited about on PlayStation Network today is the rapid growth and the momentum of PlayStation Home. As you all know, Home is an ever-evolving 3D social network that represents the PlayStation community. Built for
I think you guys are being a bit too generous with it being rapid growth. I'm sure there was growth. I'm sure some people tried it.
With more than 6.5 million people worldwide.
I mean, they have to exaggerate, okay?
For the world's console gaming community, and it's only available and only possible on the PlayStation 3. Home is growing by leaps and bounds with over 100 virtual items coming to Home each month. The buzz this dynamic new marketplace creates is remarkable. For example, Capcom's Street Fighter IV and Resident Evil virtual items have sold approximately 100,000 units in less than 2 months. Home spaces have a similar impact on the PlayStation community. In April, the EA Sports Complex launched and experienced more than 1.5 million engagements in just 1 month. We're working further to expand Home with some killer new content for franchises like Infamous, Buzz, and SOCOM, as well as titles from key publishers such as EA, Ubisoft, Activision, Capcom, Namco, and Eidos.
You're going a bit too fast, my dude.
It all goes back to gamers wanting to connect
around
their favorite games and franchises in ways that are deeper, more meaningful, and extend beyond what is possible on other consoles. For those of you who haven't seen what's going on in Home recently, here's a quick video to show you how far the platform has come since we launched it 6 short months ago.
All right. Is that a Home keychain?
Not sure.
Yeah, it was. Okay. Because that's the Home logo. All right.
Yeah.
So do you think they tried PlayStation Home because they saw how big Second Life was? Because Second Life was pretty big at this point, I think.
Yeah, I think they wanted their own, like, social hub where they could essentially sell cosmetics to people and get people on their service, right?
Yeah.
It just didn't work because there wasn't really a ton to do with it, and it was very niche.
Well, yeah, and, like, legitimately, like, unless you don't really have a computer at all, I think just play Second Life, right, if you want something like this, you know?
Well, that's kind of the thing, too. It's, like, only on the console. If it was available on PC as well, it would have had a better chance, but, like, how many people are gonna go play a PlayStation-branded service when they're on PC, right?
Yeah, right. Like, I don't know, I just think, like, Second Life probably just did it better, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I've not touched Second Life, I think we talked about this before, but,
yeah.
You know, I know that this is basically just their attempt at Second Life, especially, like, thinking about it now, right? And it's like, Second Life had so much you could do in it.
Just so you know, I'm the guy with
and you could mod it, mod stuff in, right?
I'll see some of you guys out there.
It's like,
yeah.
You've heard it from us.
You know, why limit yourself? Unless, like I said, you can only do console. But I think most computers at this point probably could run Second Life. It's not a very demanding game, I don't think.
It's virtually impossible to do justice
to
all the great content coming to PS3 this year. So we're going to roll a video that shows off a sample of what's on tap for PlayStation 3.
Yo, we saw that.
We did.
In fact, we even saw them go down that same zip line.
We did.
Man. I should replay Infamous and actually finally play the sequels.
You should. I'd love to see you play them.
So it's really funny, because, like, I remember, like, after I beat, like, Infamous 1, I'm like, man, they got so much sequel potential, because
yeah,
the game baits you, I think, for, like, because you can, like, unlock things, like, unlock, like, bonus stuff in the game, I think, and, like, I want to say literally like 3 of them are like possible sequel bait. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's like, oh, sequel, and then the sequel came out. And I didn't care to try it. I don't know why. I don't know if I heard negative things. I'm not too sure. But I just never got to Infamous 2. I never got around to it. But I should.
Yeah, Infamous 2. A lot of people really like Infamous 2. I think it's kind of mediocre, to be honest.
Okay.
But that's just my opinion. I think that in terms of gameplay, it's better. I just didn't like the story nearly as much. Huh. Oh, is that Mafia?
I think that was Mafia 2.
Ah, that makes sense. More Buzz stuff.
And then the Saw game. I would like to actually own the Saw game at one point. I don't like. I know it's not good, but I remember it being interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, Mafia 2 came out in 2010, so that probably was Mafia 2.
Okay.
I just had to make sure it wasn't Mafia 3.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't Mafia 3 because that came out in like 2017 or something. I just didn't know if it was Mafia 1 or 2.
I really want to see you play Mafia 1, by the way. Such a good game.
Yeah.
And also, part of why I wanted to check to see if it was Mafia 3 is because I may actually have a show floor for Mafia 3. Or that came out the year Mafia 3 came out. Also, is this a game where you play as a hamster?
Yeah, it's based off a show, I think. I don't remember the name of the show, though.
Based off a show? I kind of want to play it, to be honest.
I mean, it looks cool.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far. But it looks quirky.
I mean, it looks quirky, it looks interesting for a licensed game. We'll say that. At least I'm pretty sure it's a licensed game.
Probably.
Heavy Rain!
Heavy Rain. Now, I don't know if we're going to get more on Heavy Rain. But you know what, fuck it, why not? We'll talk about this a smidgen here, because why not, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like you and I both have stuff we could say about Heavy Rain, right?
Yeah.
I really liked it when it came out. You know? Like I said, maybe we'll see more about this, but then we won't need to pause to talk about it. I guess. But yeah, Heavy Rain, I remember it came out really hyped up, right?
Yeah.
In fact, I even played the demo to it, because they had some kind of demo. I don't know if it was like something you got somewhere special, or if like
no, I think it was just a thing on PSN that you could download because I remember playing a demo too.
Yeah. Okay. So I remember playing the demo and going like, man, that's pretty cool. And I remember playing the game, and I always said that like the first portion of the game actually did kind of bore me a bit, but then you get to like, you know, this isn't a spoiler. You get to like the first trial, and it's like, damn, I actually really like that, right? And then I played through the whole game, and I liked it a lot. I actually considered it at the time one of my favorite games because I don't know. I just thought it was really well done. There were some things I didn't really understand. Megan knows what I'm talking about, but you know, I enjoyed the game for what it was. However, it's weird because I feel like the consensus for Heavy Rain at the time was, yeah, it's a really good game. But I feel like much like my views on Heavy Rain, I feel like the consensus has kind of flipped a little bit, right?
Yeah.
To going, because like for me, like, because I actually watched you replay it a while ago now at this point, but I did watch you replay it, and yeah, you know what? The game, weirdly enough, I don't think it really holds up. You know?
No, I don't think it holds up very much. But like, I will say this is one of the first games I played that really got me into narrative games, and kind of got me to play a lot of games from Quantic Dream, the studio that made the game. Because I think at the time I was aware of Indigo Prophecy, but I don't believe I actually went around and actually played it until after I beat Heavy Rain. And then at that point on, like, pretty much every game they've released since then, Beyond Two Souls and Detroit Become Human, I've been a pretty big fan of them. Not because they're necessarily like super good, but because they're always very interesting experiences.
Yeah, right. Like I could see that. Now I've not played, and funnily enough, I've actually not played any of their other games, like any of them from Quantic Dream. I've only touched Heavy Rain. I would like to play the other ones. Probably will at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just such a weird game. Like it's because like it's not like anything about the game necessarily changed over the years. It's just I guess you can kind of see more of the flaws and maybe what even other narrative games have done since then. And it's like, yeah, you know what? There's like kind of a big plot hole here. There's something that doesn't really make sense here. This is a little bit odd here. Like some things in the game were always silly and were always kind of memed on. Like, you know, Jason being one of them.
Yeah, like I think the big difference is the time that it came out, because it was kind of advertised as being like a fully cinematic game experience, one of the first games to do what essentially felt like a movie. So like I feel like that plays into it quite a bit. Plus at the time, like honestly, this doesn't really look all that good now, but this was like pretty groundbreaking graphics at the time. It was really realistic with the motion capture too. So I think once you take that out and like you compare it to stuff that's kind of come out since then, like yeah, it's not a really good game. I think it's enjoyable, and I think if you like crime or suspense like type stories, I think you would probably get a lot of enjoyment out of playing it. But don't expect it to be like the next masterpiece. Like expect it to have a quirk, you know, don't take it too seriously and you'll have a good time. Basically, that's how I look at Quantic Dream games.
Yeah, right. Like, and I agree with that. Like, I say play it. Like, for anybody watching this, play it if you haven't. I do think it's interesting, but it's just when you really maybe that's the problem, right? Like, maybe when you just really dig into it, you find a lot of aspects of the story don't really make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Right? And there are questions that don't ever have an answer to them. Right? In the game. You know?
Yeah.
Like, if you look outside of the game, like Megan and I, because I remember finding something out about the game. I don't know. You think it'd be? Okay, I'm gonna ask Megan a question, and then if she doesn't think it's a spoiler, I'll keep it in. If she thinks it's a spoiler, I'll cut this bit. Megan, do you think it's a spoiler if like I've just mentioned like Ethan's whole like blackout thing? Yeah, that's not a spoiler, right? Like, just the fact that he has them.
I mean, I suppose not, because it happens pretty early in the game. And it's not like it's super important to the story, for lack of a better phrase.
Okay, fair. Alright, see, that's kind of what I was thinking, right? Okay, so I guess, so we leave it in. So Ethan, who's one of the main characters in the game, has like a thing where he'll just like have a blackout every now and again. And the thing is like, and you know, I'm gonna say this because I, like Megan said, it's very irrelevant, right? It really means nothing that he has blackouts. You know?
Yeah, they build it up, and then it means nothing.
Yeah, like they make a point of it, and this is to alleviate anybody else. Like if you're gonna play it, this is partly to alleviate your disappointment as well. Like like they don't ever really explain the blackouts in the game. Like Megan and I know more about them now because there was a piece of footage that came out. I don't know what it was of anymore. I don't remember. Maybe I'll find it at some point, or just like Google Ethan blackout. Because it was cut content. It was cut content. They cut out the explanation for it. And they did it because they said it felt too supernatural in a game that was much more grounded in reality. But the problem is, now they just have this huge, like, plot hole in the game for why he even has them. Because they left the blackouts in, but they took out the reason why he has them. Right?
Yeah.
So it's really silly in that regard. So that's one of the things that doesn't make sense. I mean, there's more, but that's a bit more spoilery. The other thing I want to say with Heavy Rain that I think is a real shame, right? Is I don't think you can get the DLC anymore. right?
No, I think it was only available for a certain amount of time on the PS3 store, but I think since then it's been delisted. Not that it's really a lot, but it does add a bit of story to a certain character in the game and kind of teased more DLC that unfortunately never happened.
Yeah, right? Like, that's kind of the thing about it, too. And this actually, like, makes me upset, right? Because, like, I think you can get the DLC, but I think you need to get, like, one of the special editions, like a
Yeah, I think it's
edition.
like the director's cut or something.
Yeah, something like that, which you got, because we found it at a local game store.
Yeah, like, it is printed out on disc. It's just not every version of Heavy Rain's going to have that. It's only going to be later prints.
Yeah, because, like, it's not like it's important DLC. It's just kind of neat-ish, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I played it. I did buy it. But, yeah, like, and they were going to have more DLC for the game. But I don't remember why. I think maybe the DLC didn't sell well enough or something. I don't quite remember. But they're going to have a piece of DLC that explained a bit more about things relating to the characters. And I think one of them was actually going to be Ethan's blackouts. Funnily enough, if I had to speculate. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, like, ah, man, such a shame. I don't know. I still enjoy Heavy Rain for what it is, but damn, it had, yeah, you really look into it, and you'll find so many video retrospectives on it too, about how Heavy Rain is not good, right? Which I did watch one of them actually, or I watched some of one. Maybe I'll show it to you later. Oh, maybe you've even seen it for all I know. But I remember being pretty good, and I'm like, yeah. Play the game. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, just to add to that DLC before we get off of Heavy Rain. So from what I remember of you saying to me, is I think what happened is that they were really struggling with production of the game. So when they released the game, they didn't have the DLC ready. They ended up finishing, I think, a couple months after launch. And I think partially because of that and just the amount of work it would be, I think that's the reason why they canceled the following DLCs.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. I think that is it.
That's what I remember you saying to me anyway.
Yeah, that's probably accurate. Because, yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, I don't know. Heavy Rain is a shame. It's a shame.
Yeah.
Because the same studio made Detroit Become Human, right? Which I've heard is, like, really good. Or is that a different studio?
No, it is the same studio. Like, Detroit is really good. Like, it has some issues, kind of like Heavy Rain does in terms of story, but, like, in terms of gameplay, there's a lot of variety to it. Like, I completely 100% of that game played every single thing on that chart that they give you that shows, like, every single choice. And I'd say overall it was a good game, but it still has some narrative issues.
Okay, maybe just not as many as Heavy Rain does.
Not as many. It's definitely a better defined game than Heavy Rain, but yeah.
Okay, fair. Yeah, because I don't know, Heavy Rain is just, I don't know, like I said, I loved it. Later on decided that it wasn't as great as what I remember it being. But,
yeah.
Like, I wish it was more, you know, like, I wish more was explained. And I wish maybe they, I don't know, man. It's a weird game. Go play it. Like, go play it. Anybody watching this, go play it. I think it's on Steam now as well. Is that how you played it?
Yeah, you can get it on Steam or Epic Store.
Yeah.
They have, like, the definitive edition. You can also get the other David Cage games on, like, Quantic Dream stuff. But, yeah, like, overall fun game. Play it if you have time. It's not super long. I think it's maybe about, like, 15 hours long at most, depending how you can do through the puzzles and everything.
You know, question, actually.
Yeah.
Because we all know, I guess I can still explain it. We all know David Cage, right?
Yeah.
And how, like, kind of quirky he is with some of his thoughts and everything. Would you say David Cage is just maybe a slightly crazier, less successful Hideo Kojima?
Yeah, kind of. He does seem like the kind of director that, at least from my experience playing his games, he has ideas for a cool set piece, but he's never very good at, like putting them together into a cohesive story. I think it's part of the reason why Heavy Rain has issues with his story. It's the reason why, like, Indigo Prophecy goes completely off the rails and doesn't make a lot of sense, to be honest.
I mean, understandable.
Like, he has these cool ideas, but, like, he's not very good at actually making the story make sense and flow
There's
together.
a lot of amazing games in there.
Okay. See,
But that's why I like his games. I don't expect good. I just expect fun and interesting.
I mean, fair. I don't know. I was just thinking about it. I'm like, he shares a lot of Hideo Kojima qualities, just not like as good as Hideo Kojima, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And like I say, he's definitely not as successful.
Rockstar Games have been delivering unrivaled
seem kind of quirky.
Well, yeah.
to fans all over the world.
And like I think the big thing with him is like, okay, he has an idea for a scene, but he doesn't have the foresight to be like, okay, how does this affect the other characters or the story as a whole?
We'd like to announce a new property coming
that makes
from
sense.
Rockstar
But he definitely has an ego. Like even in Indigo Prophecy, there is a section like right in the tutorial where you're literally getting taught how to play the game by David Cage.
Oh, okay, that's really funny.
Yeah. Anyways, I'll get out Quantum Dream. It's one of my favorite developers. I'm really looking forward to whatever they come up with next, though.
I'm intrigued, dude. And before I like play the other Quantum Dream games, I'm like, you know what, Megan? These are all pretty shit, actually. Why do you like them so much? I probably won't say it with Detroit Become Human, because I hear that one's actually really good. But
I like them because they are shit. Okay, they're not
fair.
shit in a bad way. They're so bad they're good, right?
Okay, you know what? Fair. I can relate to that with stuff.
Yeah.
Let's go back a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
We'd like to announce a new property coming from Rockstar North. It's called Agent.
Oh.
And it will be exclusive to PlayStation 3.
I don't think I've heard of Agent.
So I thought they were gonna say Red Dead Redemption.
I thought they were too, because it was in that
take a
demo
player
reel.
across the globe amidst the shadowy world of espionage
Oh,
and
is this
assassins
the
in the
MMO?
darkest hours of the late 1970s.
They made an MMO.
It's clear that Rockstar
No.
recognizes PlayStation
But
as an ideal place to
I think
build
this
an
might have been the
audience,
one,
and that's why we're thrilled to have Agent coming exclusively to PlayStation.
Hold on, I'm gonna actually Google this, because is this the one that we saw last year that was canceled?
Oh, it might be. Damn, they showed it 2 years in a row. Sony, you gotta stop showing canceled games.
Yeah, it was unreleased. That's interesting. See, it's rare for me to see a Rockstar Games game and have it be, like, unfinished. Like, have it be, like, an unreleased thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was teased in July 2007, formally announced in June 2009. Then, interesting. So, the trademark for the game's title was renewed in 2013 and 2017. So, they sat on the idea. And then it says they abandoned it in 2018. Yeah, so it was announced at E3 2007. Wow, man, yeah, it's kind of like Cameo, except this one might actually not get made, or Cameo, excuse me. Megan? Okay, just making sure. I heard you do the click sound with your tongue, so I know you're around, but I just want to make sure something didn't die on me.
No, you were good.
Let me just see if they explain maybe why. E3 2009. Take-Two Interactive confirmed the title was still in active development, even though it had never been seen by the public up to the time. Sony Computer Entertainment, America's chief executive officer Jack Tretton said it. This is a later E3. But I don't think they say this on stage, so I guess I'll say it now. E3 2011 that he was unsure over Agent's PlayStation 3 exclusivity and that it was a decision for Rockstar Games to make. I'm just seeing if they like explain maybe what happened. There's speculation that it maybe moved to PS4. So interesting. I really wonder why they sat on it and then decided never use it. Maybe they just had trouble coming up with an idea for it.
You're all aware
Perhaps
of the impact GTA had on our platforms, and we expect.
Because I don't know, I'm imagining like a secret agent game done in like a Grand Theft Auto kind of style, kind of like Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it'd be a cool idea, but yeah, maybe they just didn't know how to do it.
Maybe.
Because obviously Rockstar like has a very like distinctive like open world game kind of thing that they like to do
on PS3.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just had trouble trying to translate that into an open world game that was fun.
And excited to be here to present you Assassin's Creed 2.
So Assassin's Creed 2, a really good game. Certainly up there. Is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I really enjoy Assassin's Creed 2. It's probably one of my favorite open world games.
Diversity. Give players more options.
Also, he's kind of failing by having words on the shirt, but then having a jacket covering it.
A bit.
I assume it says "Live by the Creed," but I'm not sure.
AC2 starts right where AC1 ended, with Desmond Miles using the Animus machine to relive an ancestor's life. But this time, you will experience a different time period.
Yeah, I remember seeing this. I remember the C3 presentation, actually. Because I remember seeing this party and going, man, that's really cool.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, look at all these people on screen. It's like you had very similar things in AC1, but I don't think it was ever like this flashy.
No.
The Italian Renaissance gave us the perfect setting to exploit what was so great.
There definitely wasn't this many people like dancing and animating either.
Times and beautiful open cities.
And the parkour system is much improved in this game. It flows much better.
Much better. Yeah.
Honestly, watching this again is going to make me want to play Assassin's Creed 2 again.
Probably. But I want to pause here just to say something really quick, because I don't want to like talk over the pretty things that we're probably going to see. But I may have said this on recording at one point. I may have not. I may have just told you. I think I did mention it somewhere. Mm-hmm. There was one point in Assassin's Creed, because everybody knows that I'm like the 100% kind of guy, right?
Yeah.
So I remember there's this one part in the game where I got to a new city, and I'm like, okay, I'll get all of the the kind of high like eagle points or whatever to like overlook the city, right? Get all of that because that has a number. I got to get all of them, right? And I got them all down to like the last one. And it was on top of a building, and no matter how much I tried, I could not get it. Right? And I was like, how am I supposed to do that? How do you do that? How are you supposed to climb this building? Like, I can't find a way up. It makes no sense. And then eventually, and I spent a long time doing this, by the way, like probably longer than anybody would think anybody would spend on this. Because I'm like, I want to get everything before I continue with like the story, right?
Yeah.
So eventually I was like, okay, fine, whatever, I give up. And then I played the story, and then I found out you unlocked the thing that made you like jump a little further. And I'm like, that's how you do it. And then I was like, okay. I spent all this time doing it, but for no gain.
You know, I think I did the exact same thing, actually, now I think about it.
Oh, really?
I know there's at least one eagle point. I don't know if it's the exact same one, because I think there's a couple of them in the game, where you do need that, like, higher jump to be able to get up to it, and I spent so much time trying to get up to it.
Yeah, no, that was a very painful lesson for me.
On a quest for vengeance. It's about someone who had to deal
I also
with
love the music in Assassin's Creed 2. Music
is
great, by the way. Beautiful. Probably
someone who isn't an assassin at first.
maybe not the best soundtrack I've heard in a game, but it's really high up there.
To become one with the help of some friends.
Like,
yeah,
I'll put like this.
The music's really good.
Yeah, like I'll put like this, right? I don't buy well, I don't know if I bought the CD for this, but I don't buy soundtracks for games, right?
Yeah.
This one I did. Which, you know, says a lot, I think.
I might have to steal that from you so I can add it to my phone.
The flying machine is a good example of the diversity of experience found in
So I think the neat thing with all of Leonardo, I was going to say Leonardo DiCaprio. I was going to all of Leonardo da Vinci's gadgets is I believe they're all like real.
They are all based on real things. He actually did try to make a flying machine, although I'm pretty sure it did not go very well. It does not work like this in real life.
It would not work like this in real life. But like that's what I loved about old Assassin's Creed is it actually stayed somewhat true to historical accuracy. I'm just saying, you know.
The only way to get to him is from the sky.
Which I appreciated.
Yeah, I always found that kind of interesting about Leonardo da Vinci in particular, because, I mean, before I played this game, I didn't realize how much of an inventor he actually was for the time period. I just obviously knew him for his art.
I thought you were going to say for the Ninja Turtle.
No! I was gonna say the Mona Lisa, but then I'm like, no, probably should just say art.
I mean, yeah, art, fair. Oh.
For the Ninja Turtle, yeah.
I don't know. I thought you were gonna like say that. I don't know why.
I know, because you don't expect me to know anything from real life. Hey-oh! I'm kidding. We joke about that kind of stuff.
We do joke about that kind of stuff.
Because he's always asking me about certain things, and then I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, what? Really?
I mean, there's some things that really surprise me, right? But to me, it's just because I'm like, I'm not saying I'm like incredibly knowledgeable or anything, but there are certain things that, to me, I see something, I'm like, oh, it should be common knowledge, right?
I am just very unknowledgeable when it comes to things.
Right? But, you know, I mean, that's okay, right? It's just, you know, how I think sometimes. I paused it here because I want to point out that this was actually really cool. I don't know how they do it in newer Assassin's Creeds, but seeing this, right? It's like, well, double assassination? Because that was new, right?
Yeah, it was new, and I'm pretty sure it was a thing they marketed pretty heavily about the game. It's like, oh, you can do double assassinations with the hidden blades.
Man, we had really lame marketing stuff back then, didn't we?
Yeah. It's like, oh, instead of doing it to one person, you can do it to two!
Yeah, and like it's a very prominent thing like on the art and everything too, like on the box art, on the statue, because it's Ezio kind of like doing a like kind of come at me kind of pose, and it has his two dual blades. Like his two hidden blades like on him. It's like they made it a very big deal. Which
they did.
Yeah, it's weird, like when you really think about it, because really it's not anything super special. It's just different from the first one. Right?
Yeah.
And that was all over the place. What was the other thing that we saw? We saw something else, I think maybe last year, maybe at another conference, where it was like a very simple thing, but they're like, oh, it was all over the marketing, right? Like, it's a very similar idea where it's just like, you know, it's neat and it's cool, yeah, but yeah, they marketed it like pretty heavily as, yo, it's a big deal. He has two hidden blades now. Right.
I mean, they do that a lot, because even, like, for a relatively more recent example, for Spider-Man 2018, I remember when that game came out, and when that game was being advertised, one of the big things they mentioned is, like, you really feel like Spider-Man. But it works, and it's true.
I mean, true.
So, like, it doesn't surprise me that something like that would be advertised, considering, you know, this is the second game in the series. But I find it so funny, because it's like, well, how can we make it different? Let's give him another hidden blade. Okay, well, how do we make it different for future games? It's just like, oh, well, we'll give him a gun. It's just like, okay.
True. I also want to point out how I think it's really funny that so far Sony has not mentioned Spider-Man. But just by chance, off the cuff, you mentioned Spider-Man during the Sony press conference. Even if they don't say it, you know what? Spider-Man was still a part of this. You know?
I don't know. It's just when you said that, it's like, oh, they have really dumb marketing gimmicks. That's just the first thing I thought of. But I'm like, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. It's very simple, but it's easy to understand. And when you play the game, it feels accurate. Like, I felt like I was Spider-Man.
Yeah, I need to actually get back and play that game again.
I do want to play it so I can actually play Miles Morales in 2.
But yeah, I also want to point this out, right? Like, hear the crowd, like, because this is what I mean, right? Like, this is what I mean by we were kind of lame back then. Because, like, listen to the crowd when this happens, right?
Okay, that's really funny.
The crowd's really into it, right? And it's not even really anything all that special if you really think about it.
Here we have an example.
Because it's still, you hit the same button, it's just it kills two people now. Right?
You know, I know this comes a bit later, but didn't they also pull the same thing with Dark Souls 2, where they're like, oh, well, now you can dual-wield weapons?
They did, yeah. I would argue it's a smidgen different.
I mean, it's a little different, but I don't know. I just remember that in particular about Dark Souls 2.
There will be over 30 different weapons in the final game. Not to mention,
combat was also much easier in Assassin's Creed 2.
Able to unlock if you play Assassin's Creed Bloodlines on the PSP and connect it to your PS3. Ezio's target, Carlo Grimaldi.
Wait, I'm sure we can come to an arrangement. I'll give you anything you want. Name your...
Nope.
You know, I like how he stabs him in the neck, but there's like blood leaking out of his hand there. Like, it doesn't flow that fast. Come on.
I mean, true.
So you're surrounded.
Oh no.
Let's use a smoke bomb. Just another example.
Oh yeah, because they had like new like items you could use too.
They did. The smoke bombs are like overpowered in that game.
They are.
See, whenever I did this assassination, I just ran up the stairs and like got out that way.
Thank you. Thank you. So this was the AC2 E3 demo. I hope you enjoyed it.
I did.
But I must inform you, the game is massive in scope.
True.
This is just a short sample.
Yeah.
You'll have the opportunity to experience it at its fullest really soon. Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed Bloodline on the PSP will be on the store shelf this holiday.
You know, I think the thing that made Assassin's Creed 2 like actually like better that they should have put in the marketing was that Ezio was actually a character when Altair wasn't in like Assassin's Creed 1. You know?
Yeah, Ezio was quite the character. Obviously, people didn't know that at this point, but Altair didn't really have much of a character.
He did not. Like, he was just a guy you played as. But Ezio had like an actual story, you know?
Yeah.
Altair is cool. I still say he's cool. But, you know, he has no character. He's whatever you make him out to be. Until presumably later in other games, because
it's the dream workers at Square.
Yeah, I don't know.
Other games, I don't quite know actually.
A dozen different versions of
Yeah, I think it's in a lot of the spin-off games, if I'm not mistaken, like the PSP and DS.
That's true. Yeah, they had a like a PSP game I think that really heavily went into Altair's backstory. I never played it, but
Honestly, that might even be Bloodlines. I'm not too sure. I don't know a lot about the side games for Assassin's Creed. Never played them. I wonder if we're gonna get an actual release date for Final Fantasy 13 this time.
Maybe.
With us dead, everyone was sure that things would go back. Back to the way they were before.
Look at that. Just what we were looking for.
Yeah. Right in there.
Yo, it's lightning.
Post file C, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this really weird like theory way back in the day, right? Where people were like, yo, lightning must be related to Cloud from Final Fantasy VII. And you know what the reasoning was? I think because they have very similar-ish characters, perhaps, right? Or at least how people portray Cloud from 7. But one of the main arguments I remember hearing was because Cloud, lightning,
oh my god,
Cloud, right? Storm Cloud, you know.
Can people like not try to turn everything into FF7, please, for 5 minutes?
I mean, to be fair, it's a compelling argument when you put it like that, right? But like, it is really silly, and it's not accurate at all. But it's.
I mean, it's not, and I mean, like, I would be surprised because I mean, they even have the soldiers there. Their helmets are very similar to the Shinra guys. Like, I don't know much about 13. I do want to play 13, but that is so ridiculous and so funny to me.
Look, like, especially around this point, 7 was still considered peak, like, Final Fantasy, right?
Yeah.
Keep myself alive, let alone some kid.
Just leave the rescue to me.
What's wrong with you? You want to help on the sea? They're the enemy.
As far as Falsi are concerned, humans are tools. I'm not gonna die for one of them.
But you know, OG7 is good in my opinion.
Destroy it.
But
I think it's good, but I enjoyed 10 a lot more than 7.
Well, see, here's the thing, right? Because like I did actually, I don't know if I mentioned this before, or, like ever. I don't know. I never remember what I mentioned because it could be like weeks, like after. But I know like a while ago I did rewatch you play through 7 because I really wanted to see you play 7, the original, right?
Yeah.
And you know, by the time we got to the end of it, it was still a good game, like even watching it. But you could definitely tell that, you know, it probably is a bit overhyped, right? Like the OG.
Yeah.
Because like really,
where you going? Date with the Falsi.
You know,
what? You gonna ask it for help? I'm not just gonna.
There's some aspects of 7, OG 7 that are like, damn. So just like, ends, huh? You know, like that sort of thing. You know, like it's just very, like it's good, but yeah, probably overrated. Which is funny because back in the day I was like, oh yeah, no, 7 is the best, man.
We're very excited about
But
Final
now
Fantasy.
even I'm like, yeah,
Square
7,
Enix isn't
good
stopping
game,
there.
probably
They're
overrated.
also hard at work on the title that
But, you
comes
know.
after them.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to introduce and show the first footage anywhere of Final Fantasy XIV.
Yo.
And
Woo.
PlayStation 3 will be the only console you'll be able to play Final Fantasy XIV on when it launches
They
in
were probably
2010.
panicking a little bit when they saw how 1.0 Final Fantasy did way back when.
Probably. Because did they say 14 or Realm Reborn? This is just the OG 14.
They said
right?
Final Fantasy 14, so I
Yeah.
assume this is 1.0.
Yeah,
Which,
so
for anyone who doesn't know, was a very bad game. It was very grindy, very slow, very not fun MMO, and it failed really hard. And then eventually they completely rebooted it. They destroyed the world essentially in lore, and they restarted.
Yeah. Yeah, 14 had a very bad start. A very bad start. And honestly, it's amazing that it's actually, like, really good now. Right?
Yeah.
Because, man, it had a rough go.
Yeah. It is even just amazing in itself that it got that second chance, right?
Oh, yeah. For sure. And honestly, you know, it kind of goes to show you that, like, a game can be redeemed if you have, like, the right team behind it. You know?
Yeah.
But, like, it's so rare. It's such a rarity.
It is, yeah.
Because, yeah, like, even when I started playing it, I was hesitant because my friend that got me to play it, I was like, why would I want to play 14? Isn't it, like, terrible? And he's like, no, wait, it's good now. They fixed
So
it.
there's one that didn't leak.
And I was very skeptical, but then I played it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's actually pretty good.
We've shown you titles for hardcore gamers.
Yeah,
teen
it's
and
funny because
tween
you were
girls,
bugging me to play it
and
for a very
everything
long
in
time,
between.
too.
I was,
All three
yeah.
platforms. We're not just here to talk about what's coming this holiday season, but what's going to keep everyone excited for the next few years. Motion-controlled gaming has been a phenomenon that's been attracting a great deal of consumers the last few years.
Here's the reveal.
And we know a little something about this space as we introduce the first true motion controller back on the PlayStation 2 with iToy. Shortly after the launch
yeah,
of PS3,
true, I guess.
we introduced the next generation camera.
Can you really call that a controller, though?
Gaming and video conferencing
I mean, I guess
via
it's as much of a
PlayStation
controller
Network.
as the Kinect is.
This technology will continue to grow.
I
in
mean,
many
technically,
ways.
I guess.
We're working to create an experience that is much closer to real life than anything you've ever seen. I'd like to invite Dr. Richard Marks and Anthony Mikhailov, creative forces behind the PlayStation Motion Controller, to help show you a bit of what I'm talking about.
Thanks, Jack. It's been a few years since I was up here on the stage at E3, showing you the first true motion controller, the PlayStation 2 iToy.
I do like how they want to try to lean into, hey, we made the first true motion controller, guys. We did it.
Yeah.
Like if you want to be technical, yes, that is true. But the games are also very basic, right?
And our goal is to add to the PS3's interactive capabilities. We want to enable a completely new set of experiences for PlayStation 3.
I don't know what it is, but when these two came out, like, I don't. It seems like everything got very 90s. I don't know why.
Of a new controller.
I don't know if it's just because like the camera, like the quality seems a little bit worse because of the background, making it look a bit more blurry.
Yeah.
But there's also the fact that, like, I don't know, maybe just all the beige. I'm not really too sure. There's something, I look at this and I'm like, man, I feel like I'm transported, like, even further back in time.
I feel like it has to do with mostly his attire, like with the sweatshirt and like the way his hair is. It reminds me a lot of like how stuff looks in the 90s, even when we were looking to stuff on the show floor.
Yeah, right? I don't know. That's just like a very sudden thing that hit me. I'm like, man, this feels old. There's something about the quality, like the color around here too. I don't know. It's weird.
Change. So I want to stress this is an engineering
Little bit.
prototype. But it has a variety of buttons.
Oh, okay, wait.
Prototype.
Hold on.
Its final look will change, so I want to stress this is an engineering prototype.
Did it actually change? I'm pretty sure it still looks like that.
I believe it pretty much looks like that. I want to say maybe they changed the look of like the black part of the controller, but it still has the little like white rubber ball on the top.
Yeah, no, it looks exactly the same. What do they mean by that? Maybe they intended to change it. Because admittedly,
yeah,
a lot of people made fun of how the controller looked. I
mean, it looks pretty dumb, not gonna lie. But, you know, they probably intended to change it, but then they decided that it didn't really make sense.
Like, I like the idea of the glowing ball, right? But I do remember a lot of people making fun of it for looking like a sex toy.
But
yeah,
it has a variety of buttons and internal motion sensors.
Dude, guy on the right really does not look like he wants to be there. He looks like he wants to go back to the hotel room and sleep.
PlayStation Eye can track. Imagine
yeah,
you're playing an RPG game. You choose fireball spell. The color in your hand changes, and then you throw to cast your spell. So rather than listening to me
my
just
god,
talk
that's
about
where
it,
the game
let's
source
get
for
started
came
showing you
from.
some tech demos of what this thing can do. We're not going to show any video at all. Everything you're going to see
It would have
is
been cool if they
live
actually made like a
technology
legit
demonstration.
RPG that used it, but I don't
Anton's
think there's
going
one
to
that's
demo,
compatible
and
with
I'm
the
gonna
move.
explain what's happening on screen.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
So actually, I want to point out.
I like
on
that
the
guy.
sides up here, you can see video from
Yeah.
different angles of Anton.
I like how he just seems real. You know, he just seems really real.
So this first demo, what we have is like a.
I mean, he's not a
virtual
salesman. He's
television
there
set with a
to move
PlayStation
the
Eye,
move controller
just
while
like
he
we
talks
have
about it.
set up here on stage. So you can see when Anton moves the controller here, the controller moves one-to-one just as he moves. In order to let you see this better,
I do
Anton,
like
you
this
can,
little
turn
demo
on
they
the
have
video on
though,
the
because if you
television
didn't know
there.
better,
We're
it
putting
looks
the
like something that would
PlayStation
come out of
Eyes
like
video
the
on this
Source
virtual
engine.
TV. So you can see as
yeah,
Anton moves,
right.
it moves exactly as he moves. This is true one-to-one tracking. This is the first time we've ever been able to do this. And we can show this better than anyone else because we have the video from the PlayStation Eye. That racket is actually in the virtual world. It's in Anton's hand.
Oh, he missed. You gotta actually be good at like virtual tennis on the PS3.
Go Anton. Go Anton, you can do it.
Of course.
Ah, baseball nice.
Oh wait.
No way.
So sports are kind of a no-brainer, but you could hold anything in your hand. I do want to point out.
See, that's
notice
when
how
they should have
fast
given him
this
something
racket
that wasn't a
functions.
sports instrument. There you go.
All right, let's try this.
Putts.
Yes.
Hey, he got it.
He got it.
Also, I love the idea that the cameraman's just wearing all black so he doesn't stand out as much.
Yeah, right.
Large ones.
Man, I don't think it's supposed to be that big.
Probably not.
Because I love how even he looks surprised. Like look at his facial reaction.
You know, so
It's like, oh.
weapons are always good.
I mean, it's probably supposed to be about the same size as the golf club, but yeah.
Probably.
So my son loves this demo, actually.
The flail's
You can
kind of
imagine
cool,
if he
actually.
could be Ratchet, and he could hold Ratchet's weapons in his hand while he plays.
Dude, you could be Ratchet. Imagine a Ratchet game like that.
Ratchet and Clank game where you feel like Ratchet.
Whoa.
Oh. Oh. His fan just fell out of his hand.
It did.
Okay, we have
There
a
you go.
flashlight now. Notice we have
I wonder if
3D
Insomniac would ever
pointing.
make
You
like
can
a
move
VR
around and
Ratchet
point
game.
From any position or angle here. Okay, the flashlight's pretty cool.
I don't know,
Do
because you
have
need to be
anything
able to
with
get the
a little more
weapons
firepower,
like
maybe?
right. Because I know the thing with Ratchet is all about the weapons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the weapons are very important, which is why I'd be like, yeah, I don't know if they would actually do it or not.
Like it'd be really hard to do and have it be good.
Gold Desert Eagle.
Yeah.
So, of course, the PlayStation, this new controller and motion control in general, people have thought are more of a casual experience. And we expect very great casual experiences. But we also want to enable some more gamers games. We think that'll be a great use of this controller too. So if you want to switch to first-person shooter mode, Anton can actually move around the room and point and shoot things.
I do like how the gun sound effects just sound like they're from GoldenEye.
They do.
Very simplistic engine.
Buttons are needed for some experiences. There's some experiences you can do without them, but some experiences there's just no other way to do.
There's really no other way to do this without a trigger. It just wouldn't feel right.
Okay, so let's see anything else?
You got one more thing.
What's your whip?
It's a plasma whip.
This is always difficult. Oh yeah.
So
there you go.
You can imagine the kind of special effects we could overlay with the video and the graphics here. Now, we're going to switch gears completely here.
Ooh. What's this?
This next demo, it may look simple, but it's one of the hardest things to do precisely. Anton is effectively reaching into the scene, bridging the gap between the real and virtual worlds. This is the foundation for the ultimate sandbox. You could build anything in this. The game development is
he didn't do very well with that.
Really excited about this because the possibilities are limitless here.
Interesting.
Another thing that's really difficult to do in a virtual world is drawing.
Yeah.
And in particular, writing requires extreme precision. The tip of that pencil Anton's using is being tracked at sub-millimeter accuracy.
All right. I see. It's on the big screen. Oh, yeah, that's clever. See, we don't get to see that, but we can assume.
Yeah.
So the pencil shows off the precision really well, but for something a little more artistic, Anton's going to move on to some more paintbrushes here. He's actually metering out the amount of paint that's being put on the canvas using the analog trigger right now. Nice. For something like a spray paint can, the angle actually matters of what he's doing here. Ooh, dripping right down the wall there, nice.
Okay, see, that's kind of neat, right?
I like how it's a very similar demo to the paint game from the Xbox One, though.
A bit, yeah.
It doesn't have to be used literally.
I'd say this one's better in that regard, personally.
In terms of the tracking, this is a lot better. Like, look at the dominoes, man.
I'll help it out. You know, we could always try again.
Better. Other things that use drawing are selection. Selection is one of the keys.
Dude, if they made this, we could have played Warhammer this way.
Finally,
true.
We have an interface on a console
That'd be interesting.
do real-time strategy.
Those trees are not really stuck down.
Troops, and then he draws a path for them to follow.
I guess that was probably the idea with this. Like, oh, hey, you could probably play RTS games a bit easier on a console with the move.
I mean, probably.
I don't know if it'd be better than using the analog sticks. It would depend on the control scheme, but yeah.
Blurring the lines between RTS and first-person shooter here. We already showed first-person shooter once, Anton.
Well, it's always good.
All right. Anton's going to set up the next demo, and we're going to shift gears here a little bit. We're going to step out of our room here and move into a virtual arena.
Whoa, a virtual arena?
And we're going to show you some character control, actually.
So as you can see here, my motions are mapped directly onto the character. When I move my sword and shield, he moves them exactly as I do. Hey, everybody.
You know, I do like how it can tell how high the controllers are, too, because even when he lowers them, the character crouches.
So we've all seen
yeah, like, that is kind of neat.
Before, but the kind of precision Anton's giving you
just trip him.
Sword is just crazy.
Oh.
Yeah, like, between this and the Kinect, I'm kind of trying to think which one I would consider better. I think the Kinect had a better, like, idea with full body motion tracking, but the technology was just, it didn't look as good, right, on the E3 stage.
I mean, it didn't. Because, like, the idea of being able to use the console without having a controller is good, but, like, the accuracy seemed really low. This seems really good in terms of accuracy.
Yeah, like, watching E3, if I had to choose one motion controller to get, and it wasn't like the Wii, I'd probably pick this one just because it looks very accurate, and, you know, it seems like it's doing what he wants.
No problem. You could reach around an enemy coming at you, behind the back. Really do anything
because, you know, remember, you ever see the bottom of an Avatar shoe? Bam, right? Like, we saw how that went, you know?
Now we're going to finish off with
and if you would like to see it, go check out the Xbox conference from 2009.
Go check out the Xbox conference from 2009, exactly.
Pulls out an arrow and knocks
it's very interesting. I do like how you can use both of the controllers to control two different like things, like a bow and an arrow, right?
It's kind of nice.
All right, great.
Little arrow in the knee. Whoa.
Farthest guy on the right there.
Funny meme.
Too
Not
early for
yet.
that.
Yeah, too early for that funny meme, but who knows? Maybe this is where they got the inspiration.
Daddy.
That'd be
Are they coming?
possibly.
Nice.
Let's go for something more dramatic.
I will say, like, in terms of the tech here, like, for the bow and arrow specifically, this does look a lot like the demo reel game that kind of came with the move, Sports Champions, because there was, like, an archery mode, and I do feel like it played very similar.
I mean, this could have been the precursor to that, yeah. Because it does seem like it'd be fun to do an archery thing with this.
Yeah, because I don't remember how many different games were in it, because I didn't really play it that long, but I do remember the archery in particular.
We're looking forward to sharing more about the motion controller with you in the near future. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
See, not everything got out. This is going to be a really exciting part of PlayStation.
I'm kind of
future.
surprised
So
the
thanks
move
to
didn't
Rick
get
and
leaked.
Anton for giving us an early glimpse today.
Yeah,
Everyone
me
should
too.
expect to hear more about PlayStation Motion Controller in the future and prepare for a launch in the spring of 2010. One of last year's biggest sensations was Sackboy and Little Big Planet.
True.
And since its launch last November, we've seen over 900,000 user-created levels.
Yeah, I'd say
played more
Sackboy
than
kind of
200
became the
million
mascot
times.
for a while.
There's a lot
after
more
Little
in
Big
store
Planet.
for Little Big Planet in 2000.
Yeah, he was for
including
quite a
Little
bit.
Big Planet game coming to PSP and lots of new licensed content. Imagine dressing up your Sackboy.
I'm kind of sad that we've kind of gone past the era of like company mascots for video games.
Caribbean.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't even consider Master Chief
or
like
even
one for
Mr.
Xbox
Incredible.
anymore, to be honest.
And we'll be rolling out these costumes.
Yeah,
and
I
more
don't
from
think
Disney Interactive Studios
the big
on the
companies really
PlayStation
have
Network
mascots
starting
aside
this
from
fall.
Nintendo and Mario.
Yeah.
Now you may remember Little Big Planet's tagline from a year ago: "Play, create, and share." It's also something you can sit down and play with your 6-year-old daughter or your hardcore gaming friends. That was never intended to be just a tagline. It was the beginning of a whole new genre, something you could find only on PlayStation. And this is the first time where user-generated content, social networking, and gaming have come together in one place. PlayStation is in the best position to evolve this category, and I'd like to introduce a new franchise today, our second, and one that is also exclusive to PlayStation 3. I'd like to welcome William Ho and James Grieve from United Front Games to show you the next great title in play, create, share genre. We call it Mod Nation Racers.
This one was actually pretty big.
Yeah, Mod Nation Racers is pretty fun.
See, I never played it, but I know it's like really popular.
2 years ago, when we first heard the phrase play, create, share, it inspired me, us, and I'm sure most of you as well.
I'm kind of sad I never played
It is
it.
much more than a catchphrase. It is a full-blown genre.
Yeah,
on the
like I don't
PlayStation.
think it was like the best racing game, but it had like a lot of really
racing
cool
game
features when it
designer
came to
like me?
customizing your racer in your
I
car.
dream of a
It
fresh
also had
racing
like a
adventure
mode
that
where you
anyone
can
pick up and play every
make
day.
different tracks and stuff. That was pretty
Empowers
interesting.
everyone to imagine and create
Like,
whoever,
I don't know.
whatever,
I played a
and
decent
wherever
amount of
you
it
want
when
to
I
play.
got it. I don't know if it would have been this year or not, but
Whether you
it was one of those
friends in your
races that kind of
living room
fell
or
off.
meeting
It got a
new
sequel
friends
and
online.
I think a couple on
Today,
PSP and
we're
then
proud
just
to
kind of
introduce
died
to
out.
you Mod Nation Racers. It's a thoroughly modern take on
okay.
classic kart racing. It's made
But the
only
first one I
possible
remember was
on a
pretty good. I don't know if I
powerful,
ever finished it. I don't even know if I still have it, to be honest. I'd have to look.
Before we
But
get to some racing, let's meet the racers of Mod Nation.
I don't know how good the game would be nowadays without being able to share stuff online and play with people online, but, you know, it's okay.
Yeah, like that's kind of the one issue with games like this, right? Is once the online goes down, unless it's on
Yeah.
PC, funnily enough.
So what we do in Mod
I mean,
Nation
I'm not
is
saying that
we
PC always has
yourself
constant like servers
to
for their
become
games
superstar
going,
designers
but
yourself.
people have an easier time
I created
like
this character. His name is Monkey Bug.
making
I've
their
always
own
loved Monkey
servers,
Bug.
for
I
lack
think
of a
he's
better
pretty
term.
cool.
for these kind of games.
Oh, for sure. And like, I wouldn't know for sure if Mod Nation Racers would have like a fan private server or anything. I don't think the game would have been big enough, so I would be very surprised if there was one.
I think that's a little better.
That's cool.
But it's possible.
So what kind of mod would you want to be, smart guy?
Let's take a look. Let's see what we got.
Yo, Hellraiser.
It's not for me though. I think I'm gonna go with this guy. Yeah.
Okay, he's pretty cool.
Oh look, it's mascot in different colors.
Yeah, right.
I think's all right, you know. Pink is the new brown. You gotta like it.
This guy needs a real race car, man. I'm sure we've got something better for him in here. Still a little pink, I think. Maybe we'll go with this guy.
All right, that's a nice ride, James. I respect that.
So
while you're preparing for your race, I'm just going to tell everyone here that these are just a few of the unlimited number of combinations that you can make in the game yourself. You can create, you can share, and remix them. So here we are in the game. Let's have some fun. Let's hit the track. When we set out to make Mod Nation Racing, we wanted to make the most gorgeous, most physical, most interactive kart racing game you've ever seen. It starts with the graphics. We're harnessing the full power of the PS3. The results speak for themselves. We're also using real-time physics everywhere. The kart handling just comes alive. Surface changes like the real-time physics, like full power of the PS3.
Yeah, hit a
the
thing.
results speak for themselves.
I didn't see it. I guess he did. He like clipped the side of
We're
it.
also using real-time physics everywhere.
Yeah.
I was like, did he cheat it in?
Surface changes like this old
No.
just feel right.
It's probably just a bigger hitbox than it looks.
Drift just feels sweet. All without sacrificing pick-up and play control. We've got some weapons here. We've got a full arsenal of weapons that we're introducing. Some with familiar play mechanics, others from our secret labs that we're developing. Up ahead here, take them out. Up ahead here, we're going to see some of the more physical and interactive elements, such as this launcher. We've also got a stomper. We've got a, we call it the Devastator. Takes out opponents. You feel the ripple. You feel them.
That's very well timed from the dude racing.
Activate remotely.
Yeah.
Sacrificing pick up and play control.
Okay, I don't know what that was.
Okay, I think you're just buffering.
Here. We've got a full arsenal of weapons that we're introducing. Some with familiar mechanics.
Weird.
Others from our secret labs that we're developing.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe YouTube's just being a little wonky.
Physical and interactive.
Maybe. I guess I'll just zoom back to where we were.
Taken out. This
There
way
you
you can
Yeah.
activate remotely. And learn to drive, Coder Boy.
Sorry.
It's all right. Better luck next time.
Oh.
So that's a bit of the racing in Mod Nation Racers. This track was made using a tool we call Track Studio. We wanted to empower racers like you to become creators yourselves. It's ridiculously easy to use. So we're going to show you how it works. We're going to blow away that track, which was made in Track Studio. We're going to start a brand new track. And we're going to try to do this in record time in under 5 minutes. Are you up for it?
See how we go. Let's see how we go.
So the reason why it's ridiculously easy to use is because we let you create by playing.
So you just like drive the track. That's kind of neat.
Said, this is super easy. We're just using regular driving controls here. We've got elevation on the right stick so we can make some hills. And it's smart enough that if we cross over the track, it's gonna put in a little overpass or something for us. So we're gonna keep this track pretty short, I think. Just make a little straight here. And then we'll bring it back to the finish line. We just have to drive back through the finish gate to close this off.
All right, bring it home, James. So as he closes the loop, what's happened here is in seconds, he's actually made a brand new functional racetrack. And as he enters test drive mode, we spawn AI opponents and he's racing and he's finding out how fun his track is right away. How's it feeling?
Feels pretty good, I think. Feels pretty good. We better dress it up though.
See, that is pretty neat. I'm not gonna lie.
Kind of like off-roading. Can we add some
Yeah, like the system for building tracks, like I didn't use it much, but it was very easy to use and it was pretty cool.
Change the surface type. So that's pretty easy.
All right, now we got to put in a background. Why don't we start with some mountains? Can you make some really big mountains?
I think we can do that.
I'm a fan of big mountains.
I think we got something here for you. We'll just make this brush a little bigger
wow.
for you. And just start putting away here. This is really satisfying.
Bigger. I love big mountains. They remind me of our home in Vancouver, British Columbia.
Yo, Canada mention.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I think we need to add some water.
I think we can do that as well. We just turn the brush around and we'll just drag this out through here. And then we've got a
Yeah, it seems really easy to like just build the
one last thing
track.
we're going to need to do here though is we're going to have to even out this hill here. So just make the brush a little smaller. And once again, we can just drag this around and we'll bring up another hill. And we're all good. That's looking pretty good.
Yeah, like I think it's a very good tool for what it is. I didn't use it a ton. I'm sure some people made some really cool tracks. I just didn't play this game online enough to really play a lot of them.
Nice and easy.
All right, I think it's time to add some green. Can you make a forest?
I think we got something here. Let's see. We'll go to our props. We'll just bring the cursor back through here. I think a couple of trees around this corner is probably going to look pretty good. Ooh, so we'll just start around here, and we'll just start laying these guys down. Once again, this is nice and easy. Just drag it out around the road. We can speed it up. Come back into the middle here, and we'll just fill out the center here, and I think we're good.
Nice. So that looks nice. But where do the Moderation Racers live? I think we need to build a village for them.
Yeah, I think we've got one of them in here. So this is in our palette. It's our village brush. Once more, we can just...
I would say that's a pretty cool palette.
The
village brush, that's interesting.
That's satisfying. So now we're just going to fill in the middle of the track as well.
That'd be funny if you could just put houses like on the track itself.
That would be pretty good.
That's awesome.
I think that's probably pretty good.
You know me, I'm kind of a reckless driver, so we need some objects I can smack through and maybe some weapons that I can pick up.
I think we've got something here. We'll go with some safety cones around the inside here. That should make it nice and fun. And then I think we'll do a couple of weapons on the dirt section. So we'll just come back through to here, select our weapon pickup, place a couple of these down, and I'm going to drop in a little extra for myself just in case I get in trouble in this race.
Smart.
Cool. All right, I think we have to hurry up. Time's ticking.
One more thing. Okay. We've got to drop in some of these little guys. I love these little guys.
Sheep.
James.
Sheep brush.
Yeah. You have to forgive my friend, he's from Australia, so we'll indulge him. I like mountains, he likes sheep. Okay, finishing touches.
Okay.
Bring it home.
I think we're going to raise the water here. That lake's pretty cool, but I think it could be a bit higher. So we'll just...
Oh.
That's a little too high.
A little too high, yeah.
Drop that down a bit.
There you go.
That's
That's more normal.
Last thing we're going to do here is we're going to put in a bit of a sunset.
See, it's kind of cool if it lets you do that though, because imagine building like an underwater city track.
That would be pretty neat.
That's probably a little too low, but we'll bring that up about there. I think that's going to be good for us.
Awesome. So why don't you go into test run mode and see how it is. What's just happened, folks, is James has created an original track from scratch. It's fully populated, fully lit, it's fully playable within seconds. And now we're going to have some fun here. He can continue tweaking his track using a whole host of tools. He can save it to the PS3
See, you know,
drive.
like
He
this
can
is
upload it,
really
other people can
impressive.
Play it online. He can even download
Yeah.
it and remix it.
Yeah, for just like a few seconds of playing around with this, it looks really good.
You have to,
Yeah, because that was kind of one of the things about Living Planet. Like, the tool itself was easy to use, but it took a long time to get used to it and get good at it.
Did you mean Mod Nation Racer?
Well, I just mean in terms of, like, the creation tool in Living Planet.
Oh,
right.
I was talking about
like,
Mod
this
Nation
is
Racer. But yes, yes.
Well, yeah, no, sorry. But, yeah, they definitely made it a lot more casual-friendly in this game, for sure.
Yeah. So was that about Little Big Planet?
That's just a brief introduction to Mod Nation
Well, I was just
Racers,
gonna say,
and,
it's similar to the
team
tool in
back
Living
in
Planet
United
where
States
you
Vancouver
can
is
create
working
stuff, and
really hard on
it's
bringing
definitely
more
easier for
features
people
that
to
we're
do,
gonna
but
tell
this
all
one's
of
a
you
lot
about in the coming
less
months.
in-depth than
But in the
Living Planet,
meantime, what
because
really
it took
drives
quite a
us every
long
day
time. They had
is
so many
doing
different
what all of
tutorials to
you
learn how to use
are
it.
going to race,
Okay, so you're just kind of
create,
comparing the two.
share
Okay,
in the game
that makes
Yeah.
sense.
in 2010.
Sorry I didn't explain that very well.
No, it's okay. It's funny when I'm talking about Mod Nation Racer and you're like, yeah, Little Big Planet's tools are pretty cool. I'm like, huh?
Yeah. So again, I'm just testing you.
Thanks very much,
Yeah, fair.
James.
Like, I know they mentioned Little Big Planet earlier at the start of that, so I understand,
Developed
right?
exclusively for PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
It comes from the wildly creative minds of Fumito Ueda, whose previous games, Eco and Shadow of the Colossus, have as much heart and soul to them
Love
as
Shadow
they
of the
do
Colossus.
action and adventure. Here's a new glimpse
Last
at
Guardian.
Ueda-san's
Was
next
it?
masterpiece, the third title
Yeah,
in the trilogy,
I
known
think
as
so.
The Last Guardian.
Yeah, this game
Yeah,
took
I
forever to come
forgot
out.
they did the reveal this early.
So when did it come out? 2014?
It was like 2014 or 2015. Ended up coming out on PS4. Like, it was quite a bit later after this reveal.
It became quite a meme because I remember I fucking love fucking Shadow of the Colossus. I love Shadow of the Colossus, man. Never played Ico or Eco or however someone wants to pronounce it. I've heard both ways. Both probably as accurate as each other, to be honest. But I remember like seeing this going, oh my god, I want it, and then like,
yeah,
it didn't come out for a while, and people were like, is it even happening? I'm pretty sure they just released it just to say it happened, right?
Yeah.
Because I heard the game actually isn't that good, which is a big shame.
From what I played, no. And I played like good 4 or 5 hours of the game. I really wanted to like it, I really did, but it's too frustrating especially at the beginning of the game. You tell Trico, your little companion, to do something, and like at the beginning of the game, he doesn't trust you very much. So like he wouldn't want to do what you wanted him to do. Like I think there was one point where like I had to get him to kind of like put his upper paws on a platform so I could kind of like climb up to an upper ledge, and it took me like almost 10 minutes to get him to do what I wanted so I could climb up him. Like it was bad.
I do like how you called him your little companion, when I'm pretty sure he's not that little.
Well, yeah, he's a big guy, but you know, he's my little Trico. He's
I mean,
cute.
yeah, understandable. Like, I get what you mean. I just thought it was kind of funny. I'm a little companion.
Yeah.
I had to get him to do this so I could climb up him. Like, ah.
Yeah.
See, pretty as hell too. Like,
yeah.
But they've always done pretty looking games. Like, man, you like for real. You look at a Shadow of the Colossus on PS2. My God, you would think that was a PS3 game, to be honest, with how pretty it is.
Yeah, because even for the time, this one looks really pretty. Like, I'd say in terms of the way the game looks, this is really not that far off the PS4 version. If anything, it's probably just higher resolution textures and higher resolution in general.
I mean, probably.
But yeah, unfortunately not a very good game. I don't know if we'll ever see another one like that. I guess time will tell.
Man.
I'm trying to remember if Japan Studio's even still around. It might have been shut down.
I want to say they're still around. Let me see. Before my phone dies. Let me see.
Yeah.
I forgot to plug it in.
Oh.
So Japan
I mean, I can look it up.
No, it's okay. I'm looking it up right now. Just give me a second.
Okay.
Well, it was merged into Team Asobi, so technically, no, it doesn't exist anymore. That was in 2021. It was merged.
Okay, I thought so. I just couldn't remember.
Looks like Team Asobi is the studio behind The Playroom and Astro's Playroom. And Astro Bot Rescue Mission and stuff. So they're doing the VR stuff now, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm sad, actually. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I know they made more than just these. Like, even looking at the games developed for Japan Studio, I always forget how many games they made.
Yeah.
So, you know, but still, it's a little sad that you're probably right. We probably won't see another game like this ever again. Unless they do it in VR, maybe. But
I mean, it's possible.
Cause I don't know, man. Like, they're just such unique styles of games, you know. Like all of them, right? Like Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, and The Last Guardian. They're all very like unique.
They are.
Yeah, they're just so different. Because I mean, what Ico is all about, like escorting someone with like minimal combat, I think, but it's not like the premise of the game. And same with like Shadow of the Colossus. Like your dude has a sword, right? Throughout all of it. But you don't use it for combat. You use it in battle, but you don't use it in the way you'd imagine you'd use a sword in a game like that. It's just very unique, all of their games.
15 years ago, I don't think anyone could have.
Well, those
how
three
this next
in
game
particular,
would
I
drive
mean.
PlayStation sales into the stratosphere.
It's like,
Ladies
you
and
know,
gentlemen,
I love them.
please feast your eyes on a short tease of Polyphony Digital's Gran Turismo 5.
Yo, GT5.
I didn't realize they actually revealed Grand Theft Auto 5 this early.
This is Gran Turismo 5.
Oh, Gran Turismo. Okay, my bad. I heard GT, and I was thinking Grand Theft Auto.
No, they just said GT, not GT and A.
Okay, my bad.
And plus, Polyphony Digital doesn't make Grand Theft Auto. That's Rockstar Games. I'm just saying.
I mean, yeah. I didn't hear the studio. That's my bad.
I know. I'm just teasing a bit.
Mercy.
I should just let you assume this is like Grand Theft Auto, though. Maybe I should just let it happen.
That would have been kind of funny. I'm like, why is there planes and NASCARs and Grand Theft Auto? That's weird. I feel like I'm smart enough. I would have figured it out.
You would have. I would hope you'd figure it out by the time it showed the name Gran Turismo on the screen.
No, I don't know.
If you wouldn't have, I would have been really shocked. I think you would have figured it out. I do think you would have figured it out.
I mean, I can be a little oblivious sometimes. I just feel like I'm probably not that oblivious. Most of the time.
The real driving simulator.
PlayStation. And speaking of game experiences, it helps separate PlayStation from every other console out there. And one of the reasons that we hold the 10-year value proposition so near and dear to our heart is due to this next franchise, which was produced some of the best titles on the PlayStation 2 and PSP platform. This is one of the most eagerly anticipated games of this generation. I'd like to invite Stig Asmussen to the stage to show you the first few minutes of the jaw-dropping God of War 3.
Ah, yes. Okay. So I do remember this. I do remember this, and you'll probably know why it's memorable to me as we watch.
Okay.
Maybe.
We at Sony Santa Monica Studios are excited to be able to present this live demo of God of War 3.
God of War 3?
God of War 3 is the final chapter in our fantasy trilogy, based on the dark side of Greek mythology.
At the time.
We will see how the story of
Yeah.
the gods,
I mean, it's the last one of Greek mythology, isn't it?
Yeah, like I guess that's the thing. I guess technically it finishes the trilogy, and then they do something else like 10 years later.
in the most brutal fashion.
Well, I guess 9 years later.
I think this demo does a fantastic
Yeah, close
job
enough. Might as well be 10
describing
years.
the energy and spirit of this brutal nature. Now our design director, Todd Pappy, will take point on the controls, and we'll get into our demo.
Yeah, I'm pointing this out for you, Megan, right? Because, and I guess
Yeah.
for everybody else. If you look at it, I think this is kind of a play on the start screen for God of War 1, because I'm pretty sure it has half his face kind of
Yeah.
off the screen in that one. So I'm pretty sure it's kind of a play on that, which I think is kind of neat.
Yeah, actually, I was gonna mention that because it is very similar. I do like you could see how he's like war torn with like the blood on his pauldron and like the scar on his eye. It's interesting.
Yeah. Now Megan's played the ones on PS2.
Yeah.
I think the HD remaster, but like look how pretty this is compared to that, right? Like man.
Yeah, it's a really pretty game.
Yeah, fuck you, civilian. You shouldn't be here. Yeah, I don't know why it had a weird cut like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Maybe at E3, like, I don't know, maybe it's a more gruesome cutscene, but for E3, maybe they're like, we don't want to show that. Or maybe what I'm thinking might have happened is maybe something happened to the live stream and maybe it like cut around a little bit.
I mean, it could be something they did for the demo too, because maybe there's a cutscene that plays there and then they cut it out for the demo.
I mean, maybe.
Not too sure.
Yo, Helios. He wanted to say Apollo, but isn't Apollo like the Roman name? I don't quite remember.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I was thinking it was Apollo too, but I wasn't too sure. I always get confused because there's like the same characters essentially, but with different names.
Yeah, because like Rome did Rome things, and they were like, "Yo, these are our gods too, and we're gonna name them something different."
Yeah. Yeah, so I always get the Greek and the Roman names confused.
almost wonder if maybe they're just cutting out some of the more brutal stuff.
They might be. Because, I mean, this was streaming online, so they probably had a limit to how much they could show.
Maybe. I don't know which Titan that is. Oh, Snake.
Snake.
Yo, Manticore, let's go.
Oh, that's terrifying.
I forgot about the Manticore in the game.
I always forget about the Manticore. I feel bad for the lion head on the bottom. Has to like look at the ground all the time.
Yeah, right. Where's the Chimera? Nah, this is a Manticore, right?
No,
Yeah,
I think it's the Manticore because it has a snake tail, right?
Yeah.
So we're actually cutting the presentation here. I think it's best that everybody gets their hands on it.
Ah, boo.
Oh, but you don't get to show us the big cutscene.
Am I wrong then?
Gameplay so you can see how it ends. God of War 3 is due for
I
release
remembered
March
something different.
2010. Thank you.
I remembered something different about that.
Oh yeah?
Well, what did I see then?
So keep in mind,
I could have swore it was at E3.
God of War 3, this is an experience.
Maybe they
not
showed
just
it. Well,
exclusive to PS3.
no, because it comes
It's
out
only
next year,
possible
doesn't
on
it?
I'm pretty sure.
With everything you've seen
Does
here
it come out
today,
after
I hope
E3
you'll
though?
agree, this is
I don't
gonna
know.
be
Let
one
me
of the
see.
biggest years in
Now I'm
PlayStation.
curious.
Because if it comes out after, maybe they show it again next year with a release
And it's
date.
been our pleasure today to show you the future of gaming. It goes without saying that we're extremely proud of the lineup on our platforms this year.
I mean, looks like it comes out in
With
March.
everything from Blu-ray gaming to downloading
So-
and bringing your favorite
No, I think-
content
well, what am
with
I-
you on the go.
what do I remember
That's interesting.
PlayStation
Maybe you saw it
synonymous
somewhere
with
else.
innovation in entertainment. I assure you that we will never become.
Okay, well, I'll
complacent
explain.
despite
I'll
what
explain my
we've
confusion after
accomplished.
this, I
And we
guess.
intend to ensure that when you think about
Yeah,
great
okay.
gaming, you think PlayStation.
Because we're pretty much at the end of the
Thank you so
presentation,
much
so.
for your kind attention today and all the support you've given us through the years. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you in 2010. How are they doing the montage again? I guess.
I mean, they went to the effort to make it. They got to use it at least twice.
True. Okay, well, I guess while this plays, I'll explain my confusion. Not like it goes for much longer. But I'm pretty sure it was at E3. I don't think it was at a separate conference. Because, like, I remember them playing the demo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the guy, like, you know, going through it and, like, playing it. And I think he gets to a point in the game where he has to use, like, a thing to fly up, like fly up, a shaft of some kind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember him actually failing and dying on that section. And them going, well, then, unfortunately, we got to cut it here then because, you know, we can't go all the way back and then do this. We don't have enough time. So thank you.
Yeah.
And then they could walk off. And I'm like, oh, okay. But the reason why I remember it being at E3 is I remember because I watched this on GameSpot, right? I used to watch this on GameSpot. And I remember they had a demo for God of War 3 at the GameSpot showing. And I remember the presenter... Did I Mandela affect myself? Because I remember the presenter saying, oh, hey, you get another shot at this. Because it was the same guy playing it. So there was a little bit of playful banter where it was like, oh, yeah, you get another shot at this then. Okay, well, show us how it was supposed to end. And then he goes through it, and then he succeeds. That's what I remember. So it's completely... Because I have a very strong memory of that. So it's completely blowing my mind that it didn't actually happen. And that's
Yeah,
why
maybe
I'm
you
so sure
saw it
it's
at
at
something
E3.
else later.
I don't think
I don't know,
so. I'm so confused.
I'm trying to think, like, because there, because I mean, I can't say I remember that because I don't believe I've ever really seen it. but like, I don't know, it seems oddly specific unless they make reference to it later. Like maybe you're thinking of the announcement of God of War 3 remastered on PS4 later. I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I'm so confused now. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Maybe someone in the comments knows, because, man, maybe I Mandela affected myself, like, super hard. I don't know. Like, maybe I'm from a different timeline. Maybe that's a memory from a different timeline where they didn't have to... Or they had to cut it short. Line. But, like... Because they cut it, like, around here, right?
We're actually cutting the present.
Yeah, like, right before they interact with it.
Which is funny, because I'm pretty sure it happens right after this. I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Now I'm so confused and a little bit scared. Okay, so what do you think of the conference?
I thought it was really good. They had a lot of really good games and, like, a lot of really cool stuff. I thought the demo for the PlayStation Move was a lot better than the other ones, than the Kinect in particular.
That was so much better than the one for the Kinect.
Like, I think overall, PlayStation won E3 this year.
I think I agree, because it did show off a lot of good games, and I thought the Move was fun. See, here's the thing, right? So I thought, like, the presentation for the Kinect was more funny, but in a very unintentional way, which is kind of the thing, right? They didn't really intend for it to be funny. It just turned out that way because it looked so awful, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, but this one they had fun with it. It seemed like they were trying to be funny on purpose, which, to be fair, they did succeed. I did like how Anthony went in there looking like he just wanted to go back to bed and, like, why was he up there? But then when he was playing the game, you know, he seemed like he got a lot more energy. I don't know if that was by design or, like,
not too sure.
Just maybe looked a bit sleepy. I'm not too sure, but. Yeah, no, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. And honestly, it made the Move look pretty solid. And I like to think that this right here is kind of a dig at, like, the Kinect. With, like, oh yeah, you can splash paint. Well, we can draw, bitch. You know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Overall, though, yeah, you know, pretty impressive. I think you're right that I think it actually wins this year's E3. Because I had a lot of fun with that. Plus, I've always said before, I really like being able to hear the crowd. Right?
Yeah.
Which I think, honestly, may have helped Nintendo edge, like, a few years for me. Where they would, like, win. Because I like hearing crowd interactions, right? I like hearing the crowd get excited. Because if I don't hear the crowd get excited, I assume maybe they're bored. Because I know they're there. I know they're sitting in front of a crowd. Like, they're presenting in front of a crowd. Right?
Yeah.
So it's really nice to hear people, like, see the dual blades in action and go, ooh! Right?
Yeah.
Or to, like, laugh at funny things that are happening on screen, whether intentional or not. And I like Sony's awareness and meta, like, humor of the, yeah, we know we've had a lot of leaks lately, but you know what? We're going to poke fun at it, and, you know, the Move didn't get leaked, right? Like, I appreciate that, right? Like, I appreciate that they had humor with it.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. I think Sony won this year. I think I have to agree. All right.
Well, that's pretty good.
So, what did everybody else think? Does anybody else have a different opinion from us? Perhaps. I will say I'm looking forward to 2010 as well. I think 2010. So we're entering the era of motion controllers, which you know, I know it gets rough because I know they really like hyper focus motion controllers, right? I think in hindsight it's going to be more fun, right? Because we can look at that stuff and go like, "Oh, this is funny," right? Because we're not.
Yeah, we're gonna laugh at it.
Yeah, because we're not looking for anything new, right? Because we're not going back to 2010 and going, "Oh my god, am I going to get excited for what's going to happen?" Right?
Yeah.
Now I'll probably say this when we get to 2010 again, but I think part of the disappointment in 2010 and I think maybe even 2011. Is that you're like, assuming I'm right about 2010 and not just like 2011. I think part of the disappointment with some of those E3 conferences is it's like, oh my god, I'm so excited. I want to see like what new video games come out. It's going to be so good and cool. And then it's like, here's a game where you open a storybook using the move, and you can read it. Because I know that's a thing, and I know that because my mom bought it once because it was on sale, and she was like, "Oh, I think this would be cool." And I've had it sitting in the living room ever since, and that was a good long time ago at this point. But
Yeah.
So I know a game about like a storybook exists. I think it's a Harry Potter one, actually. But yeah, and I know they have like other little games like that, and it's like, and then you have, the dance game that came out on the Kinect, Dance Central, which I know is also really funny. But it's like
and the Star Wars one.
And the Star Wars one. Well, yeah, but that one's that uses the same technology.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very much, we're gonna get to that point, and it's gonna be like at the time, it's like, I don't really want to know about any of this stuff. Just show me like a new Ratchet or new Metal Gear or something, right? Why are you showing me this stuff?
Yeah.
But in hindsight, it's gonna be funny, is what I'm trying to get at. Anyway, I guess that's it. So I'll look around for show floors. Funnily enough, I haven't actually done that yet. I probably should have. But we'll look around at show floors, see if there are any. I don't think there will be. I'm going to be honest. I think we're done with show floors, sadly. It kind of sucks because it was one of my favorite things of the year, funnily enough. It was going and seeing the show floors. But I think we're past that period of E3 now. I think, I don't think we're going to get that anymore.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be really a lot of fun stuff to see on the show floor.
So if there's a show floor, we'll show it. If there isn't, I guess we're moving on to 2010.
Yeah.
Something else you'd like to say, Megan?
Overall, good conference, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we have for next year.
Yeah, overall good conference. I'm going to say, though, overall 2009, mediocre to decent year, right?
Yeah.
Overall. All right. So I guess that's it. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching. We hope you all enjoyed. But for now, it is time we cue the outro. So frag out, and we shall catch you guys later.
Bye.